on Friday, August 18th from 7 to 10 p.m. The Joe B. Art Center at 1029 West 35th Street presents Third Friday Exhibition. This event is free of charge and provides the community of Bridgeport and the Chicago area a unique opportunity to explore a blend of international and local art. The artists and residents of the Art Center open up their studios to visitors. Thank you.
I'm Teresa McDonald, and here are news highlights from the family meeting. Late last month, Ryan M. Kelly, a photographer for the Charlottesville, Virginia Daily Progress, gave his 2-week notice announcing he would be leaving the newspaper for a job at a brewery in Richmond. Bittersweet news, gang, Kelly wrote. After 4 years as a photojournalist for the Daily Progress, my last day will be August the 12th. That was yesterday, when violence erupted at a white supremacist rally in Charlottesville. Kelly was there on assignment and captured what is perhaps the iconic image of the chaos. The moment when a car slammed into a group of counter-protesters, killing a 32-year-old woman, Heather Heyer.
On his last day of work?
On his last day. And leaving several others injured. The photo shows a Dodge Challenger plowing into the crowd, tossing bodies, shoes, and debris in the air. The driver, James Alex Fields Jr., was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, 3 counts of malicious wounding, and 1 count related to leaving the scene. Fields, 20, who was raised in Kentucky but living in Ohio, texted his mom, Samantha Bloom, Friday to say he had dropped off his cat at her apartment so he could go to an alt-right rally in Virginia. I told him to be careful, Bloom said, and if they're going to rally, to make sure he's doing it peacefully. She said she thought the rally had something to do with Trump, but that she didn't get very involved in her son's political views. Bloom also expressed shock that her son's views were white supremacist. He had an African-American friend, so I don't understand, she said. As her son would use a vehicle for tragedy. Yes. As her son would use a vehicle for tragedy, a vehicle was also involved in a tragedy that punctuated James Alex Fields' childhood. According to the Washington Post, Fields' father was killed by a drunk driver. Fields' uncle, who didn't want his name used, told the newspaper that Fields' father was killed by a drunk driver a few months before the boy's birth. His father left him money that the uncle kept in a trust fund until Fields reached adulthood. When he turned 18, he demanded his money, and that was the last I had any contact with him, the uncle told the Washington Post. The uncle described Fields as not really friendly and more subdued. Fields' ex-high school teacher, Derek Weimer, told WCPO-TV in Cincinnati that Fields was a quiet student who had some radical ideas on race. Weimer told the station that he taught history to Fields at Randall K. Cooper High School in Union, Kentucky. He was very infatuated with the Nazis, with Adolf Hitler. He also had a huge military history, especially with German military history and World War II that he kept because he was pretty infatuated with that stuff, Weimer told. The teacher also said that Fields had wanted to join the army but couldn't because of his mental health history. Heather Heyer, the woman killed, was just crossing the street along with a group of counter-protesters who were carrying LGBTQ flags and Black Lives Matter signs. She worked as a paralegal in Charlottesville. Social media shared her final Facebook post from 2016, which read, "If you're not outraged, you're not paying attention." A statement from Ms. Heyer's mother read, "She died doing what was right. My heart is broken, but I am forever proud of her." Today, we remember Heather Heyer. Visit our webpage, tfmradioshow.com, and be sure to go and like our Facebook page, The Family Meeting. You can also follow us on Twitter at TFM Radio Show and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Family Meeting Show, where you can see us live streaming this broadcast right now. This has been your TFM News highlights for Sunday, August the 13th. And now get ready. It's family meeting time with your host, Eric Grant.
The most beautifulest thing in this world is just like that. I can't hear you.
You're listening to Chicago's only independent progressive talk station, 820 AM WCPT Willow Springs and 92.5 WCPT FM DeKalb, Chicago's progressive talk.
Do you have a pain that won't cease? A health issue that's not getting better? It may be time you visited Health on Earth Wellness Centers. With over 20 years experience, 4 Chicagoland locations, and patients that range from 2 months old to 93, Health on Earth Wellness Centers are fully prepared to meet all your chiropractic needs. We have state-of-the-art facilities in Crestwood, Tinley Park, the South Loop, in Naperville. Don't let being healthy be your last resort. Make it your first choice. Make an appointment today at healthonearth.org. That's healthonearth.org.
It's time to start feeling better about your health care. A WellCare Medicare Advantage plan may reduce your health care costs. You may be eligible for benefits you don't even know about. If you're new to Medicare, have both Medicare and Medicaid, or have limited income, now may be the right time for a WellCare healthcare plan. Don't wait any longer. Get the coverage you deserve and call 1-877-MY-WellCare to start having more benefits and more money in your pocket. With WellCare, you'll feel better about more than just your health care. Let us help you understand your options. Call now to set up an appointment with your neighborhood agent or to find out about a WellCare event in your area. Call 1-877-MY-WellCare today or log on to wellcarenow.com and you'll feel better in no time. Some plans are available to those who have medical assistance from both the state and Medicare. Please contact WellCare for details.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WCPT, NewsWeb Radio Company, or its affiliates.
Hi, Ken Brown, KenBrownInternational.com. I listen to the family meeting.
This is Gloria Castillo, President and CEO of Chicago United. Join us on the World Wide Web at chicago-united.org. I listen to the family meeting.
Yep, it's family meeting time. Welcome to the broadcast. I am your host, Eric Grant, fresh off a trip to D.C., baby. Do you understand? That's home for me.
Yeah, we know it's home for you.
Thank you. D.C. is home for me. Being home.
And he brought all that tude back too. You can tell.
I got tude?
Tude.
I don't have no tude.
Attitude.
No. You get there and you get reinvigorated, you know?
Is that what they call
I
it?
have to do that every once in a while just to get back and get grounded again.
Okay.
And it was good because it was student move-in day on campus.
That's right. That is.
Yeah.
Kids are going back to school.
Yeah, so the students were moving in, and I had classmates who were sending the kids to Howard.
Nice. And you just wanted to be there.
Well, I was there for a conference, so I went to campus actually to hoop a little bit and get my workout on. And I happened to notice that it was...
you hear this, right, Richard?
He still got some game.
And he got some game?
Yeah, he got some game. He got a little bit.
That's the second time you know.
That over 50-year-old man game where he just...
I can skate and I can still hoop a little bit. Just saying.
Okay.
Welcome to the broadcast. In the space shuttle cockpit controlling everything is our girl, everybody's girl, Lady B. Looking all whipped up today. Lady B got something going on.
3 weeks in a row.
I think she might be off the market. Visit our webpage, tfmradioshow.com. Enter your email address to join the family. You'll find our archived broadcasts there and our often requested music playlist. Also go to our webpage, re-register to vote.com and make sure that you're not purged from the voter rolls. Re-register to vote.com. You can email us at info@tfmradioshow.com. Like us on Facebook at The Family Meeting Radio, on Twitter at TFM Radio Show, Google Plus, and live streaming right now. Right now on YouTube.
Right now.
On YouTube. Go to the little YouTube, the little internet making machine, and pull up YouTube, and you'll find us there on YouTube.
Yeah, you can see us.
On the family meeting.
The family meeting is sponsored by Polaris' Save and Plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Get empowering advice by visiting saveandplan.com. Saveandplan.com to learn more. The number is 312-951-2606. The lines fill quickly. You better hurry up and call now because people are calling already. And I'd imagine it's about Charlottesville. I got a hunch.
Just a hunch.
Maybe
Just
not.
a hunch, right?
Could be about the weather.
Could be.
Could be.
You know?
Oh, good old Paul's good for that, right?
Yeah.
Well, the number is 773. Apparently somebody knows it already, but 773 763-9278 is the number. 773-763-9278. For those who listen regularly, you know, what we do here is you can watch the news on the news.
Yes.
So for what? The whole 2 days now we've been watching all the goings on in Charlottesville. And then that was a fantastic little story you told there. Thank you for that, Tressa.
Thank you.
And so we know we don't have to revisit it here.
Right.
What happened.
Right.
But sometimes it's good to talk about the story that's not told. Don't you think?
Always.
I mean, because really yesterday, and not to diminish its tragedy, but it is a shiny thing.
It is a shiny thing.
I heard one of the idiot supporters on, I think it was CNN yesterday. And he was saying, well, listen, they estimated there were between 5,000 and 7,000 people at this rally in Charlottesville who were on the Klan side of it. I'm calling them the Klan.
That's what it is.
To hell with what you think it is, but it's the Klan.
Mm-hmm.
He says, well, listen, we should be celebrating. Out of a country of 300 million people,
wow,
only 7,000 showed up.
Wow.
All right. Okay, so that's stupid. I don't want to talk about that either because that's stupid. Here's the thing that got me. You see the pictures of these people, and they don't wear sheets or hoods anymore.
Oh, no.
You see them,
out
right?
front.
Right out front.
Right. And as a black man, as black people, we've been saying that these people exist.
Yeah.
And the response we oftentimes get is, oh, you're playing the race card. When are you going to get over it?
Get over it.
Slavery ended 150 years ago. This is a new day, and you have opportunities that your forefathers didn't have.
And
blah, blah, blah.
President.
And you had a black president, yeah.
And you had a black president, right? Here's the thing that really, you look at the faces of these people. So somehow they had the money to get to Charlottesville, which in all likelihood means that they have a job. Okay, so where do they work? The local convenience store?
No.
At the Walmart?
No.
Cabela's? No.
No.
Listen, they could work at all those places.
Yeah.
They could be lawyers.
Yep.
And your doctor. Right? Right? You just
Your
got to
teacher.
The police officer in your
police
community.
officer.
right? The police officer, right? A judge.
Yeah.
Yep.
They could very well be all of them. And they're not alone.
No.
These are only the people that took the opportunity to go.
Yes.
There are a bunch of people that were either too broke or too busy to go, and a bunch of other people who wouldn't be seen there but harbor the same sentiment.
Or are waiting for the show to come to their town.
Thank you.
They could be waiting for it. I can't get there. Y'all come here. I got it. Right? So the thing is, it's not about those people. It's about the pervasive nature. Those are probably the extremists, but there are people who harbor those same sentiments who didn't go, who you encounter every day, who live right next door to you or across the street from you, who you go and buy food from every day.
Every single day. Yep.
I stopped on the way in, as you saw, and got some waters for us, and at a particular
I didn't
establishment.
introduce you either, man. That's the black Asian dude, Richard Chews here again.
Hey, what's up, everybody? And held the door for two women, of which they both turned their nose up at me and didn't say thank you. Just 5 minutes from here. I won't mention the establishment because that's not fair.
So you say that, it's like, well, that's just unfriendly people.
Not
right.
No.
Like racism isn't really a thing. It's an imaginary thing that we're making up, and it's not. So we can have the idiot in the White House denounce what happened in Charlottesville. That doesn't really do it for me, though.
No,
because what needs to be denounced is the inability, the disparate number of people who aren't able to get business loans. Right.
Right.
There's a statistical fact that people of color are less likely by a wide margin to get business loans, to get mortgages, to get job opportunities and promotions and raises,
businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
Missed out educational opportunities.
You're right.
All of that stuff is hyperized. I'm making up a word now, I know, but is pushed into Charlottesville. Charlottesville ain't the thing for me, right?
No.
Because I can handle those idiots.
Yeah.
It's the other people who didn't go, who don't want to be seen.
It's the
who
guy
harbor the same sentiment.
It's the guy, the gal sitting in a corporate office that on Monday morning will walk in
and deny
and was cheering all that happened.
Cheering all that happened.
And that's the same guy that a young black black male, Hispanic, whatever,
will encounter,
will come into that office for a job interview,
or his resume will come across the desk,
right? And it might be Jermaine Wilson, just to be stereotypical to make the point,
or on a jury somewhere.
Exactly,
on a jury somewhere,
on a jury somewhere.
Yep.
Right.
And they suddenly that vial that we saw live becomes live in that courtroom, or in that corporate boardroom.
That little kerfuffle, that little fist fight, that wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
The real violence is what happens with the people you described, Richard,
day to day,
who see my resume or see Tyrone Jackson's resume and throw it in the trash.
Yep.
That's where the violence is going on, because it creates disparate communities that way.
Yeah, there was a social media is just a pot full of information if you really look for it. I remember when the idiot was elected, and it was,
by the way, he's one of them too, by the way.
He is one of them, and he has them in his cabinet.
Right.
So
this is why he won't denounce it outwardly, because he's one of them.
He's one of them.
Exactly. There was a big post when we were talking about boycotting, or boycotting, as they called it, BUYCOTT, boycotting these people who supported the idiot in his presidency. Well, there was certain ones that would post and say, well, please understand that the majority of businesses that would hire are Caucasian businesses. So therefore, if you guys want to start something like that, then I'm going to be, advocating that we don't hire, we don't promote, we don't make loans, we don't, you understand what I'm saying? Fail their kids in school, those types of things. So like you guys are talking about, that's where the real fight is. And that's what all of
the real violence is.
Will manifest itself there.
Absolutely.
It will manifest itself there.
For the longest time, I've been saying, and we all have been saying, that these are hyperbolic incidents that take place, and it's awful. And then people died and people were injured, and that's awful. Black, white, green, and purple. But it is a day to day, and the people that want to say that we pull the race card is 24/7,
24/7,
and it's not thrown down by us.
Yeah,
it isn't. I mean, this is a constant thing that goes through. And see, when a black man says that we get on an elevator with a certain amount of reservation and fear and guard if there's a white woman or a white person, frankly, on the elevator, this is that moment in its severe reverse, because every day we walk around wondering when something's going to jump off, or something casual as not getting a good table in a restaurant. Your reservation is lost.
And it happens.
And it happens.
Don't tell me it doesn't happen.
And we know it happens when it comes to employment. That's a big one for me. Because I've said to my wife on a number of cases, we'll be driving around, walking around any place in the world, also known as the United States of America, and I'll see something stupid happen. Why someone that is a Caucasian male, I'm just going to call it out, and I'll go and that guy next week will be the guy that will turn down someone for an opportunity. But his goofy behind just did something that he should be detained for.
So I want us to pay attention to the real violence. I mean, that's, again, I know there was punches thrown and sticks and bottles and somebody was killed. That's awful. I'm not trying to diminish that, but I want us to make sure, don't go to no black church today. Go to a white church and talk to them people. Those are the people you got to worry about. We ain't worried about that.
Yep.
I'm watching a lot of people on the other side who stand in favor or who stay neutral on the whole thing say, well, listen.
Not say anything.
Well, they're also saying, though, that both sides.
That's
I want
to throw a brick through a window when I hear someone. I don't care who it is.
That's crazy.
President, the idiot in the White House, anybody else saying, yeah, but it happens on both sides. So let's say that's their rationale. The one that says that's their rationale. So then what you're saying to me is that if your bad behavior is justified by somebody else's bad behavior, then that means that every black person in America should be able to walk up to a white person and consciously go, y'all did it to us, so we're going to do it to you.
Here, take this. You going to say something? I'm sorry.
No.
You were going to say something.
Well, I was going to just say that we watched what we're talking about happen when they were on the campus protesting. The police stood by and watched them do what they did.
Right. But here again, that's not the thing. That's a manifestation of the larger violence that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going to talk about violence, I ain't really interested in talking about the Charlottesville violence. That's going to be talked about forever for the rest of the week, right? Let's talk about the other violence.
The covert stuff.
There's a candlelight vigil going on in my suburb today. They want to have a vigil over what happened in Charlottesville. I ain't interested in talking about Charlottesville.
Nope.
Right?
Where's the vigil for? I mean, the list is so broad and endless. It's crazy.
Right. I want a vigil for the brother who didn't get a job because his name was Tyrone Jackson.
And he was a straight A student in high school, college, and graduate school.
Right.
And can run circles around the knucklehead that threw his resume in the trash.
Another conversation that Caucasian families will never have with their children to name, not to name their child a certain name. We were taught that. You can't name your children a certain name because when they get to that interview, they won't get the job.
They had that discussion on Blackish too, by the way. You saw that episode?
I did.
All right, so let's take this break. And so the lines are lit up here. I'm gonna holler out the name so you know I see you. And when we come back from the break, I am going to go to the phone so nobody is cussing at me. All right? Because right now they're saying, that damn E boy. He gonna run his damn mouth. We ain't gonna get on. Okay, so I see Nick, I see Steve, I see Kurt, I see Holly, Matt, Dave, Paul from Northside, Edward, and
Greg.
It says Craig, but it's Greg.
It does say Craig, doesn't it?
Craig. Is that Craig or Greg? Or whatever you are, whoever you are, Craig.
We see you.
In Brooksfield. Well, there you go. The number is 773-763-9278. Let's talk about the violence, the real violence, y'all. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
I know there's something wrong with me.
Hi, this is Alex Garza at AGG Consulting. You can visit me at www.aggconsulting.net. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
Polaris is introducing a new way for you to get empowering financial advice. Save and plan. If you are like a lot of people, you'd like to work with a financial planner, but don't know if you earn or have enough to invest. Save and Plan will allow us to work with nearly anyone from young professionals to retirees looking to travel the world. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up, Polaris gives you a customized financial plan, a real person to speak with, and information to help you make good financial decisions. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com. Call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone. Securities, insurance, and advisory services offered through FSC Securities Corporation. Member FINRA SIPC. Insurance services offered through Polaris Insurance Agency, Inc., which is not affiliated with FSC Securities Corporation.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. All benefits are subject to policy definitions, limitations, and exclusions. For details, visit qualityoFlifeinsurance.com.
Whether you're repairing a lamp or preparing for your future, you need the right tools. Quality of Life Insurance is there for your family if you die, but it can also provide benefits if you're disabled or if you suffer a serious illness or injury. Talk to your local agent to shed a little light on life insurance you don't have to die to use.
To find out more, contact the Polaris Insurance Agency. Visit polarisadvice.com or call 312-951-2606 to learn about how we can help you make a plan for your future. That's 312-951-2606.
The name of my business is Mrs. Indecent Exposure. We are an intimate aromatherapy, massage, bath, and body shop. We have the best aromatherapy, bath, and skincare products available. You can find us in Chicago and on the World Wide Web. We're located at 6916 West North Avenue in Chicago, 3 blocks east of Harlem Avenue, 773-417-3223. Mrs. Indecent Exposure, MRSNDEXPO.com.
Try to be tight. I'm feeling all that. You know what I'm saying? light through the glass that you shattered. Little shit like love.
This is Matt Fisher. You can find me at Mr_Funny87 at Twitter. And welcome back to the family meeting.
The number is 773-763-9278. That's 773-763-9278. And yeah, I'm kind of pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But not about all that goings on in Charlottesville. Them people can handle themselves down there. I thought them throwing punches. In fact, I saw one of them punks from the Klan punch a girl. It's on a loop. You see that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
He punched the girl.
Punched the girl.
Right?
Yeah.
And she took it like a man.
She did.
Oh, hell no. She came back.
I know.
And ran him down.
And right. That's
he started running. He started running.
Like, that was the best. That was like, okay, see, dude, you messed with the wrong woman.
She ain't got no glass chin, boy.
No, she didn't. I was like, uh-oh. And that's probably what he said. He probably went, oh, 4-letter word.
Oh, yeah. I hit the wrong person now.
Yeah.
I ain't hit Medea. Nope. Come back.
Not Medea.
Oh, hell no.
But is this a turning point?
No, it ain't. It ain't.
I mean,
It's
because it wasn't one of us this time, meaning it wasn't a black person killed.
Yeah.
It was a white woman killed.
It's not a turning point based on it being a white woman. We would say, quote, a white woman, one of ours collectively as Americans, but one that these knuckleheads want to say they control and own. No, their rationale is she should have been at home, barefoot and pregnant. She shouldn't have been out there in the first place. She got what she deserved. That will be the dialogue from these knuckleheads. You watch online. It'll be she should have been at home, barefoot and pregnant. What was she doing?
I posted it last. It's like I still don't understand how people conjure up surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't because we see it all the time.
Yeah, we see it all the time. You're right.
You know, when they conjure up surprise and outrage, and why are you outraged? I've been telling you this the whole time. Now are you outraged?
Guys, when the idiot in the White House became the person that's the idiot in the White House, black folks, not just the three of us, but numbers of folks that I spoke with said, what else is new?
Dumb people.
I mean, we knew this was coming.
You can see it. We can smell it.
Yep.
I mean, we watched it for 18 months.
Guys, my brother-in-law and I was standing in the Tidal Basin in March of 2016 during the Cherry Blossom Festival. He's a retired Marine officer, and he said to me, brother-in-law, I was telling you brother-in-law, he said, my biggest concern is that if he gets elected president, this kind of stuff. This is what my brother-in-law said a year and a half ago.
Well, so far,
here we go.
We know what to do about it. So so far, we've got the casualty is the white woman because she ain't used to being treated like we're used to being treated. She don't know how to get out the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Here comes danger.
Right.
It's like going to a movie and everybody's like, run, y'all run.
They don't have to say it. Somebody just needs to move.
Wait, don't go down them stairs. Don't go down them stairs.
Cedric Entertainment had a great joke about that.
Right.
We ain't got to organize the run.
What Keith said,
we ain't got to have a meeting. We ain't got to have a meeting and coordinate the run. We just run.
You see two people running, that means there's some stuff going on.
That's right. All right, so let me start with my man Kurt because I promised him last week that I'd get him first.
Yes, you did.
Kurt, there you go.
Hey, happy Sunday to everybody. How you guys doing?
Likewise.
Good.
Hey, good. Hey, Eric, you got a funny way of running the show, man. We got the biggest story to break out since the election of President Obama, and you telling us you want to talk about something else. You're confusing me, man.
No, it's not something else. It's violence. It's violence. It's just not that violence in Charlottesville that if somehow or another a candle vigil will make people happy, it goes behind us. It's the violence that takes place when those people leave Charlottesville and continue doing it.
All right, well, I got some violence that I want to talk about there in Chicago because there's something that I've been wanting to talk to you regarding those shooting statistics that seem to go up every weekend. But before I get to that, I do want to be the first one to say that I feel wholeheartedly that when they remove that General E. Lee statue from the downtown area of Virginia, they need to replace it with some type of memorial or plaque or something for Heather Heyer. Because I feel that her death on this day exemplifies how people of all races have come together. It's just that we still got a cancer in our society that needs to be dealt with. But you had a rainbow coalition of people there, not just black people trying to be. It wasn't a black against white. It was everybody said, no, you're not going to sit here and disgrace our town, our city, like this. Go home. And she just happened to be the first casualty, along with a couple of other officers, helicopter officers. Of course, they should be memorialized as well. But as we remove these Confederate heroes from the ash heap of history, we need to replace them with real patriots who were there on the day, that it all happened. So I think she should be the first to be recognized in the fight for freedom, as far as I'm concerned.
That's a good point. Man. Good point.
Yeah, and as far as the violence everywhere else, I've been wanting to ask you for the past year, how come there seems to be so many shooting statistics in the south of Chicago, but yet it only happens on the weekend. I mean, as far as last I knew, gang members don't keep schedule. They don't have a job to get to. If they mad at somebody, they just gonna do it right then and there. How much to go up on the weekend? Then I came across a video back when the Michael Brown thing was happening, and there was a lot of protests going on. I came across a video of 3 off-duty officers who dressed up with hoods, knitted hoods, with loaded guns, and bragged that they would go down with their guns and instigate a shooting to mess up the protests. So they went down to instigate. And so I started thinking, Indiana ain't nothing but a hop, skip, and a jump away. And I'm just wondering, how difficult would it be for some of these yahoos be coming down from Indiana with their deer hunting rifles and be pot shotting at people on the weekends, and under the guise of, South Chicago is just dangerous, it's gang violence. Everybody blames it on gang violence, but yet you're talking about little kids that are getting shot in drive-bys for no mysterious reason. People just sitting on their porch and getting shot for no mysterious reason that have nothing to do with gangs. Well, so I think somebody needs to start asking questions about that.
Well, that's true too. I think that you're on to something with Indiana, but only to the extent that it's Indiana that's pushing the guns into the community. But it is hopelessness that's driving the murder rates in Chicago. And incidentally, per capita, Chicago is,
they don't even make the list of the top 30.
Yeah, it's just a popular thing to point out.
And
there's in the history of who the president was.
Exactly.
The tint of his skin. I mean,
exactly.
All that
and
coverage.
He's from Chicago.
And he's from Chicago. That all went up.
Yeah, I think Kurt, that's probably a media hype. The murder rate across the country is a problem, not just in Chicago.
Right.
Fair?
All right. Well, okay. I just want to remind you, man, that back in the day, because Trump's trying to make America great again, and we saw an example of it this weekend. But back in the '60s, that's all them yahoos used to do, is go out, look for a stray Negro out on the street, and they would just string them up, hang them, just say, "Hey, we having fun on a Saturday night." Now, I'm just saying, modern day lynching could possibly be, some Klansmen going around taking pot shots at black folks, and then the media on Monday just says, "Oh, there were some shootings on the weekend, da 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 da," and no one can explain it other than, "Oh, it was the South Side of Chicago. Oh, it's typical. Let's move on."
Okay, then I promise you, we'll ask questions. How that?
Yeah.
Right on,
my man. Take care then.
Take it. Right. Peace out.
Let's get Nick from Sandwich. He's calling from Sandwich. What kind of sandwich you got? What kind of sandwich you got, Nick?
Oh my goodness! Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, just fine.
All right, perfect. I was going to have to say it, but I have to get a new sandwich. Roast beef and Swiss.
Okay, that sounds good. Is it toasted?
All right, with a little bit of jarnar,
Okay.
A bit of spice.
Make it messy,
that
man.
sound like some BGs to me.
I know. I know. Now, I want to say first and foremost, all of us, those that have the pale skin, the pale complexion that we're blessed with, if you will, if you want to make the blessed comment, we need to rally upon with our darkened brother and sister. This stuff that's going on right now in South Carolina is disgusting. I'm ashamed to look in the mirror and see that I'm white. We've been blessed with white privilege, and we've been able to walk amongst things and events without conviction. and it's very, very disturbing.
So I'm interested, Nick. What do you do about that except feel bad?
The only thing I can do on my end is simply not be racially bigoted and go, I don't know. Actually, you know what, Eric? I'll tell you what. What's amazing is I don't know. I've done, one of my business partners, and we've done work in Hobart, Flossmoor, Olympia Fields. I wouldn't be surprised if I did work next to your house, tree style. I do tree work for a living. And we've always, the guy I work with, he's taught me to, everybody, what happens when you prick your finger? What bleeds out? That's called blood. What color is it? Red. Doesn't matter. What color is your skin? White, black, yellow, red, blue, whatever.
So let me give you some suggestions then. This is real stuff. You want to hear some real stuff?
Seriously, I'm looking.
Good. I'm
looking for, because I'm doing what I can on, if you want to call, I hate to say it this way, but on the white side, what can I do?
Okay, so here you go. Here you go.
Okay.
For 12 months straight, spend all of your money with black businesses.
I'm done. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've stopped going. We've stopped going to chain. We do as much as we can in as far as
no. I want you to inconvenience yourself a little bit and purposely find black businesses for everything. Groceries, gas, everything. Inconvenience yourself that way and find it.
And it's easy to do by just going online and Googling.
Sure. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. It's absolutely easy to do. Just have to do it.
Right. Do that. Hire as many black people as you can. Purposely hire black people.
Not just do it, but you have to, like you said, we have to go do it, but we have to bring it to our forward, top of the mind awareness. Our frontal lobe. We have to bring it to our frontal lobe.
That's right.
And make it known.
Make it known.
Make it known.
Make it known.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them I only buy from black businesses. Tell people I only buy from black businesses.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the most important thing you can do is get me a sandwich, man. I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, man.
Yeah. We know we have a great Reuben. You like Reuben?
I want peanut butter and jelly with crunchy peanut butter.
What? All right. Yeah, actually, I tell you what. I did a toasted peanut butter and jelly with peanut butter.
Oh, my man! My man! I like that, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like a panini. What?
Yeah, man. Nick is my man. He want a peanut butter and jelly panini. That's what's up, man.
That's what's up. It is.
That's messy as hell, but man,
good.
I can get with that.
Good going down.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
You have a good one.
You too. Take care. It's good stuff, man.
That is. Good reply, E.
Yeah. Let me get Holly calling from Chicago. Holly. What's up, girl?
How are you?
How you?
I'm white and I feel very disturbed by what's going on.
You need some weed or something then. Get you some weed. You'll be all right.
With Trump getting into the White House. He was dangerous and crazy when he was running, and he hasn't changed. He's just getting worse. But what I wanted to tell you was that I was surprised by a friend of mine that's Muslim, Middle Eastern, and he's a businessman, and he voted for Trump. Which, before he voted for him, he was one of the people that I didn't expect to drink the Kool-Aid. And he bought Trump's whole line of being this terrific businessman. And I said to him, dude, American banks wouldn't loan him any money. He's not a terrific businessman. And he's, a crazy, power-hungry fascist.
Thief.
And my friend is now agreeing with me.
Oh, well, good. So we were talking about that. We were talking.
Amen. And he is seeing that this is not a wonderful businessman.
Right.
And I told my friend, I said, look at the clips of Trump 20 years ago look at it. Look at his pace of speech, and look at his vocabulary, and see how it has deteriorated. I said, his mother had Alzheimer's, and I do believe the man has the beginnings of dementia.
No. Don't do that to people with dementia. He's just stupid. He's just plain old stupid.
I think that along with the stupid is this unbridled anger, which dementia patients do have.
Yeah.
And he is, but when he was running, I said, he is dangerous.
Yeah.
You called it. Dangerous.
You called it.
And what he did was he gave a foothold to all these people that were hiding in the woodwork that are coming out.
Right.
We agree.
We agree.
Yep.
Thanks. Hey, Holly, I got to move, but I'll holler at you, Holly.
Thank you, Holly.
Thanks, Holly.
Take care. Get that? Holler at Holly?
Yeah. Yeah,
I was waiting to see
I
you
put a pun out there, didn't I?
Eric put the pun.
I put the pun. Y'all ain't ready for the pun.
Michael Powell wants to know, what are you drinking that you have to hide it under the table?
Man, got a little something there. A little something. He's going all in on the Baskin Robbins, man. There you go, Mike. The number is 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
With that board name Betty, I went upstairs to get fly. Smoke my tie, drunk some liquor to meet my hot quicker. Now I'm tight simmo. The party is the MO. Me and my crew, we get it started like a demo.
My name is Charles Hilson. I'm with GBG Insurance. The website is www.gbgins.com. Keep listening to the family meeting.
Hey, Chicago, this is Richard Chu with First Capital Insurance Group. Have you been looking for a way to better grow your safe money to make sure that your hard-earned income is protected from the inconsistency of the volatile markets? Have you often wondered how so many wealthy people protect themselves from loss when the stock market goes down, like it did during our most recent recession? Well, we have answers to those questions. We have solutions that allow you to win the market and inflation battle, reduce taxes on your hard-earned money, give you better than market performance by protecting your money during a down market, which allows you to leave a legacy for your family and loved ones, and most importantly, provide you with an income during your retirement years that can't be outlived, unlike your old 401k, IRA, pension, or mutual funds. So, if you want to revisit your old way of saving for the future and truly protect your safe money, give us a call at 312-243-4562 or go to our website, www.firstcig.com. That's www.stcig.com and click on the retirement planning button. We want to help you protect your future starting today.
A basic and essential part of any financial plan is savings. Most of whatever cash you have will be there because you put it there, not necessarily because of some fancy investment. Now with Save and Plan, Polaris is introducing a new way for you to get empowering financial advice. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up to save, Polaris will help you develop a customized financial plan and give you a real person to speak with. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com and call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone.
Securities, insurance, and advisory services offered through FSC Securities Corporation. Member FINRA. SIPC. Insurance services offered through Polaris Insurance Agency, Inc., which is not affiliated with FSC Securities Corporation.
Are you looking for the best residential and commercial laundry service in the Chicagoland area? Then you want PleaseDoMyLaundry.com. That's PleaseDoMyLaundry.com.
This is J.B. Pritzker, Democratic candidate for governor. Welcome back to Family Meeting.
Yeah, the number is 773-763-9278. 773-763-9278. I tell you, one day, I'm going to solve the issue of being able to hear the discussion during the break.
Yeah.
Because now you guys can see us waving our hands around, but you don't know
what we're saying.
Drinking gin and juice. Oh, I'm sorry, coffee.
Right. 773-763-9278. Let me see who's next here. Let's get Steve calling from the Gold Coast. Steve, what's up, man?
Yeah, well, first, a little housekeeping. I noticed you ran off all these names of people who were on hold. I'm out to have WCPT managed to get current on its phone bill. Are you back to 10 lines from 6? Or are we still at 6?
They got us at 9 now.
We're good.
You know, most of the shows around here don't get any phone calls. That's why they did that. They were embarrassed by that. So.
we were wondering. I was saying to myself, God, in this day and age, we can't keep a medium like this alive. What hope is there? So
you got to see how this place is run to see how that. You got to judge that yourself, man.
I would like to echo and call it a previous caller said, in that it is about what happened in Charlotte, and obviously it's about what's happening in the larger society. And it's also important to remember that these idiots are not just focusing on black people. That is true that it often gets reduced to that sort of thing. These are people who want to take America back to what it was in 1950 in terms of where women should be, where Jewish people should be, where people who are not of white Anglo-Saxon Protestant denominations.
That's true.
So keep in mind that this is, many of these groups have a very select idea about what constitutes a real American and even a real white person. So someone from Eastern Europe, they have no interest in their belonging to a movement because you're of Eastern Christian origin. You're not of Western Protestant origin. So there's a lot of, what these people want, is something very different for each group. So I think it's important to note that. And having said that, you're right. You can't separate out what happens, in a job interview, what happens when you get pulled over by a police officer, from what's going on in terms of this. This is a very visible and extraordinary event, so it's going to get a lot of coverage. But as you rightfully point out, what gets lost is the day-to-day injustices, the little injustices, what people have sometimes called now microaggressions, that people have to deal with every day, and how these things are linked. And unfortunately, these people were emboldened by the election of this, commander and idiot chief that we have. And the fact that his first statements should be that he should somehow equate the two groups. That when this happened, what does he say? That, we've got issues on both sides. As if the protesters on equal moral footing with the people who showed up there, whose message is hate. I mean, this is how detached this individual is. He either does not understand what is going on here, and I suspect that's part of it, or two, quite frankly, he doesn't want to alienate his base. He knows who elected him. He knows it's the David Dukes and his followers. David Duke has openly said that we want Donald Trump to be president. We helped to get him elected. And Donald Trump doesn't want to denounce, his base. And there's a reason for that, obviously. Otherwise, Steve Bannon wouldn't be in the White House.
He's one of them. Both of them are one of them.
Yep.
He's a member of the group of people that I'm talking about who don't go to the marches, who aren't outwardly wearing a sheet, but they're exacting the same violence, this economic and social violence on people every day.
Well, here's the economic piece with Donald Trump as it relates to what Eric said about let's not get caught up in the hype of this tragedy. How many people did Donald Trump hire as the head of Trump organization that were people of color, that were visibly, in empowered roles, etc.?
I got a better number for you. You should see the number of people of color that he shafted.
Yeah.
Who were contractors.
Exactly.
He paid almost no black people.
No black people.
Right.
Yeah.
And or anybody that was other.
And this infamous statement of there's my black during the campaign.
Yeah. We won't go there.
So it starts at the top. It starts at the top.
Go ahead.
I mean, it is fair to say that we have made some progress. And I mean, in 1925, over 40,000 Klansmen marched on Pennsylvania Avenue, absolutely free of any concern in terms of the counter protests or anyone, threatening their safety. And then today, when we have these marches, anytime in the last 30 years, you notice that we have one of these marches, there are 2 to 3 times as many protesters as there are these idiots who turn out. And when law enforcement turns out, it's almost always to have to protect these idiots from the protesters. So I think we've come a ways. We haven't come as far as we should. And again, as you rightfully point out, these idiots, again, I wonder who was working at Walmart this weekend, given, how many people showed up. in the tri-state area. But having said that, it's these guys who make minimum wage and live in a trailer park who decide to show up here because they're frustrated and so forth. They represent a problem, and certainly it should be addressed. But they don't represent nearly the problem that someone who has real institutional power represents.
Right. That's right.
And that's the people who really, that need to be changed, and their attitudes and their thinking need to be adjusted. I mean, these guys can show up and, they gather together. They couldn't afford to buy, together 6 of their salaries to buy a home. Given the credit rating and the total and net income. So, they come together because, let's face it, the online communities have been this great, way to foster these groups so they could come together. It's led to an explosion because you could be an idiot in some place and be by yourself. But now you can get online and find out, there's a rally going on.
Yeah, there's some other idiots, somebody just like me.
Exactly. But the total 320 plus million Americans, the fact that several thousand showed up here, I do think that shows that we've come a certain way. I think that when Dylan Roof set out to kill African Americans, the fact that he couldn't find in the Deep South one person to go along with him in that plot, that despite trying to recruit people, that says that we've come a certain distance. Not far enough, but we've come some ways at least.
Hey, thanks again, Steve. Appreciate you. All right, thanks. I always pause because Steve uses the word progress. And I know what he means, but I do not like the word progress. I don't. It's not for me progress.
It's like
that
you said
that I can now walk down the street safely. I should have never had to walk down the street in danger in the first damn place.
It's your quote of Malcolm X about the knife in my back. If you take it part the way out, doesn't mean progress.
It just means you got it halfway out.
Yeah.
And when it's all the way out and I've healed, then maybe we talk about making progress from there. Let's get Dave from Sacramento, California. Dave, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man.
All right, so there's about, according to the U.S. hate crime, there's about 900 groups, hate crimes across the United States. It's crazy. It's just crazy. And the thing about it that I want to make a point is that I don't understand is that how does these employers know that these people are protesting, that are being on TV and get caught? How come these employers still employ these people and you see them on TV, they don't fire them? I don't understand that. It's like, oh yeah, this person works for this. Oh, this person was on TV. Let's go ahead and fire this person
because they support them.
That's it.
I just don't. I don't get it.
Well, you do. No, you do. They support them. That's why they don't fire them.
I know they do, but the fact of the matter is this. Well, look at the person who actually hit somebody on Uber. Over there that worked in the executive Taco Bell. They hit somebody on that hit an Uber driver, and he was an executive Taco Bell. They fired him. You follow me? That's what, and they fired him. The fact of the matter is that these people are still employed through their employer, and they're still on TV, and they don't fire these damn people. It's ridiculous. And the thing about it is that the stupid ass Trump that I said this morning, and his stupid followers, I don't understand how we've gotten this far. And but you got to understand, they knew what they were voting for. They wanted a bully. They wanted a person, so they got what they wanted. So these people that are the hate groups and all this stuff, they knew what they were voting for. They got a bully president, so that's what they got. So now we're stuck with it for another 4 years.
Right. We talked about that a little bit during the break here. Is okay. I don't think Tressa agreed with me, but people make bad judgment calls on people all the time. We pick bad spouses and we pick bad friends. I get that. But when you discover it, when you see it's going bad and you stick with it, that's when I got a problem with you.
Yep.
So I need people who voted for Trump who see this as a problem. I need them to repent.
Not just apologize.
Openly.
You need to be apologetic. My bad, man.
Yeah.
Listen, I didn't see it, man. My bad.
Especially if you voted.
If you can't do that, I got a problem with you.
Especially if you're to Eric's point, if you're the one that said he's gonna, they said he's gonna be a good businessman, and from it wasn't about banning Muslims, it wasn't about Mexicans, it wasn't about anything in their mind that was quote unquote racial, but it was, they thought, okay, we need a businessman in the White House. Now you see that that businessman is a fraud.
Yes.
You need
always has been.
Always has been. You didn't see that, but now you see it. You got to apologize.
Right. Fareed Zakaria today, if you guys saw him, he pointed out several things that Trump had did early in his career. Well, he just completely just a blithering idiot. The dude trashed an entire football league.
Yeah.
Yep.
He crashed a casino.
Yeah.
That had wheels on it. Just running along.
I mean, think of the lack of skill you have to have.
Yeah. The man filed bankruptcy how many times?
We don't know anymore.
Right. And it wasn't.
How could they have
it wasn't
said-
a tactic.
Look, $989 million, if that's the number. We'll call it 900, so I'm close to being right. How many people, the write-off on that was paid for by taxpayers.
He's been stealing for 40 years.
And nobody had the sense, not
and
nobody.
your dumb ass put him in the White House to steal some more.
And not just money, but people's lives.
And that's what he's doing.
Because I know we before we go, I won't say this. I'll wait till we come back from the break because it's
He's
a little
about
bit
to
longer.
send people over to get killed overseas. And
we're gonna have a war right here in the United
I know.
States.
Okay, so this is who's holding here. Now, just so you know, I see you. I'm going to say your name. Okay, I see Jim. I say Jesus. I hope it's Jesus.
Yeah.
Because if it's the other dude.
Yeah.
Adrian, Pat, Matt, Eugene, Paul, and I got to get to Craig first, don't I?
Yeah.
Craig, you next, man. Stay tuned for more Family Meeting.
That's how it's supposed to be. Check it out now. I ain't going out, man. That short style is dead. Have y'all heard what I said? If not, ask the dread. You got a cannon that's bad. Similar to the one that I got from my old dad.
This is David Martzall with the Center for Economic Progress, economicprogress.org. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
Hi, my name is Sue Myers. I live in Frankfort, Illinois, and I listen to the Family Meeting on WCPT. I'm the founder and coordinator of Indivisible South Suburban Chicago, a local chapter of a nationwide nonprofit grassroots movement launched in response to the 2016 election. Our group is made up of citizens who live in the south and southwest suburbs of Chicago. Our mission is to resist the radical and regressive current administration and to promote a progressive and inclusive agenda. We meet monthly and organize meetings with elected officials, host and attend rallies, organize educational forums, voter registration drives, film screenings, and social events. On August 10 at 7 p.m. at the Frankfort Public Library at 21119 Pfeiffer Road in Frankfort, we will be hosting a forum on single-payer health insurance, which will be presented by Ed Cole, a longtime advocate for single-payer and an expert in the field. For more information about our group, email us at indivisiblessc@gmail.com. Join our Facebook group, and you can follow us on Twitter, Indivis South Sub Chicago.
The Law Office of Darnell Lyles is ready to help you. Whether it's personal injury, criminal, DUI, and OWI, nursing home, product liability, it doesn't matter. Call 219-939-9-LAW. That's 219-939-9529. That's right. When you're driving and get into a wreck.
You better call Darnell.
Had a few drinks too many? A cop hits you with a DUI or OWI?
Think you better call Darnell.
Arrested and facing criminal charges, misdemeanor or felony?
I think you better call Darnell.
Purchase a product that causes you or a loved one harm?
I think you better call Darnell.
When your loved one is neglected and abused in a nursing home?
I think you better call Darnell.
That's right. You better call Attorney Darnell Lyles and get represented right. And the first consultation is free. Yes, free. So call right now. 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. Attorney Darnell Lyles. Darnell Lyles.
I'm Teresa McDonald, and here are the top stories we are following here at the Family Meeting. Two friends, 12-year-old Hannah and 13-year-old Katana, died after a car they were joyriding in crashed just before 1 a.m. Wednesday in Woodward, Oklahoma. The person driving, a 14-year-old boy. According to the accident report, the 14-year-old driver was trying to outrun a Woodward police officer when the car went airborne and flipped, ejecting 3 of the passengers inside. Katana Ritchie, 13, was one of the victims of the crash. Ritchie was riding in the car along with 4 other kids, ages 12 through 14. Hannah and her were supposed to be spending the night at my house, and then they snuck out of my house to meet up with them at Walmart, said Richie's dad, Jason Ritchie. The 14-year-old driver was in court Wednesday afternoon in a closed juvenile hearing. He is facing 2 counts of manslaughter. His mother, April Carmen, says her son was on a 3-day break from Boys Ranch, a home for troubled youth. She says he stole his grandmother's car to go and see Richie. Wow. A Scottsdale, Arizona man was sentenced to nearly 16 years behind bars for allegedly scamming women through online dating websites. Essentially given 1 year for every victim he scammed, Daylon Pierce was sentenced on Friday after pleading guilty to 2 counts of fraudulent schemes and artifices. According to Attorney General Mark Bronovich, Pierce, who also went by the name of Daylon Jung, signed up for several dating websites, Match, Plenty of Fish, and Tinder, and became involved in romantic relationships with multiple women. The Attorney General's office says Pierce created the dating profiles to engage in romantic relationships with women and convinced them to invest in fraudulent investments between 2013 and 2016. One of the victims invested $240,000 and another took out more than $100,000 in loans and gave the money to Pierce as an investment. In total, he received more than $1 million. Pierce told victims he was a successful licensed stockbroker and targeted vulnerable women with trusting hearts and good credit scores. Wow. And finally, if you haven't heard, a single ticket sold in Illinois matched all 6 numbers in Friday's Mega Millions lottery drawing with a jackpot worth $393 million. Lottery officials said the winning ticket was purchased at Nick's Barbecue in Palos Heights, Illinois, about 20 miles southwest of Chicago. Friday's winning numbers were 23, 33, 53, 56, 58, and the mega ball was 6. 3 other tickets matched the 5 white balls, taking the second prize. Those tickets were sold in Washington State, Ohio, and California. The jackpot is worth $247 million if paid out in cash, or $393 million in installments. Lottery officials said the jackpot was the largest in nearly a year and the 5th largest in the 15-year history of the drawing. Friday's jackpot had been growing since April 28th, the last time a ticket matched all 6 numbers. But of course, that lucky winner won't walk away with the full amount, though. If the winner opts to take the lump sum, it's estimated that the federal tax withholding would be a little more than $61.8 million, with Illinois state taxes taking another $12.2 million. But the final tax burden could be even higher. Wow. Visit our website, tfmradioshow.com, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for archived audio and video of the broadcast, as well as our music playlist. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at TFM Radio Show. The news today is brought to you by WellCare. Get more out of your health care when you have Medicare and Medicaid. Healthcare events may be scheduled in your area. Visit wellcarenow.com or call 312-292-1591 for more info. I'm Teresa McDonald, and this has been your TFM Radio Show News. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of the Family Meeting.
You're listening to Chicago's only independent progressive talk station, 820 AM WCPT Willow Springs and 92.5 WCPT FM DeKalb, Chicago's progressive talk.
The name of my business is Mrs. Indecent Exposure. We are an intimate aromatherapy, massage, bath, and body shop. We have the best aromatherapy, bath, and skincare products available. You can find us in Chicago and on the World Wide Web. We're located at 6916 West North Avenue in Chicago, 3 blocks east of Harlem Avenue, 773-417-3223. Mrs. Indecent Exposure, MRSNDEXPO.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. All benefits are subject to policy definitions, limitations, and exclusions. For details, visit qualityoflifeinsurance.com.
Quality of life means health and peace of mind. Quality of life insurance means protecting your family if you die, but it can also provide income if you suffer a serious illness or injury and need financial help to maintain your lifestyle.
To find out more, contact the Polaris Insurance Agency. Visit polarisadvice.com or call 312-951-2606 to learn about how we can help you make a plan for your future. That's 312-951-2606.
Is your child prepared for the school year? Getting started early means a better chance of getting ahead. Masters Plus Tutoring in Homewood is the program that works. No matter what your child needs to prepare for the coming academic year, better study habits, organizational skills, or time management, Masters Plus can help. In fact, they tutor students in all subjects from kindergarten through college. Perhaps ACT, SAT, or Catholic high school prep are in order. Just visit mptutors.com and request a consultation. All sessions are taught by certified instructors in a private one-to-one setting to ensure each student receives individualized instruction. Whether your child is at a basic level or reaching for advanced placement, Masters Plus Tutoring can help. Call 708-798-8400 or visit them on the web at mptutors.com. Mention WCPT and you'll receive a $25 tuition credit with a purchase of 4 hours or more. That's mptutors.com.
One way is back again. We popped. We pushed. Now we want you to pull it. Pull it.
Hi, this is Tommy Nelson. Visit me at A Custom Cabinet Design, Facebook.com. Welcome back to the family meeting.
So, we're having a conversation about violence today. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. The different forms.
When do people stop saying, this is not who we are as a country? What has to happen where you say to yourself, okay, that ain't true.
This is who we are
as a country.
Let me
This
shut
is who
up
we are, yeah.
and do something about making that true.
Right. That's it. What am I going to put at risk?
First, they have to accept that this is who we are. And until they do that, then there's nothing they can do.
That's exactly who this country is.
A lot of people are
Has been for 400 years.
addicted to the quote unquote America's this Puritan, wonderful, glorious place with no issues. Nope. Nope.
Not gonna happen. So when are you gonna stop saying that? Every time somebody says that, and it's on either side of the political spectrum, it doesn't matter who. We're better than this.
Yeah.
No, we're not actually. This is exactly who we are. You elected that idiot in the White House. That's exactly who we are.
And all of his cronies, state on a federal level, straight on down to the states.
You can't get around it, man. It is what it is. Let me get let's get Matt in here. Let's see what's on Matt's mind today. Matt, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. You know, I am so lucky to have you three as my friends because that means I can get away with anything.
You think, don't you? You think?
Yeah. I mean,
Don't try us now.
No, I can do anything. I could do anything I want. I could go to a Japanese restaurant and order Chinese food, and nobody could stop me. This lady has got to be some kind of stupid.
What lady?
Honest to God. The lady who said, but he had a African American friend. His friend was black. This is just so shocking.
Oh, you mean the guy's mother? The guy's mother said that, right?
Yeah.
His mom said that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's willful ignorance or just.
You know it is. You know it is. Everything's okay if you have a black friend.
Wow.
Kind of damn sense.
Well, I mean, we all know that everything is okay if you have a black friend, but just I got rid of my cable a couple days ago, so I didn't know any of this was happening yesterday. And I turned on the radio and I hopped back on my phone, and they just kept saying West Virginia, and then Trumpolini gets on the phone, gets on the radio, and starts giving a speech to the vets. And then halfway through, he just says, "The violence has got to stop now." See, what he likes to do is that he likes to get on the radio or get on TV or get on the toilet and go to Twitter and say that the violence is going to stop and it's going to stop now. And then he doesn't do a damn thing about it. It would be nice if he would actually do something about it. But then again, I'm not holding my breath.
Don't. You die. Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, no. And if anybody's waiting to take a dump, don't do that. It'll hurt your body.
Oh yeah, that's bad for your kidneys.
Oh.
Yes.
But is that Richard Chew in the background?
It's the Asian black dude.
That's me.
No, I asked Bedelia to put me in as Matt Chew.
Yeah, he's Matt Chew today.
We saw that. I thought.
And now you're cousins.
And now we're cousins.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Watch yourself.
Hey,
Anyway.
man, I got a whole bunch of calls, man. Let me get to these calls,
No,
man.
I know. You do your thing, but before I let you go, it's been a while. Richard, you got me straight tripping, boo. Bye.
My man.
Knew it was coming.
That's Matt. Better known as Matt. Let's get to Paul, North Side. Paul, what's up, man?
Yeah, hi. You know, any public display of anything related to the Civil War or the Confederacy is treasonous and unpatriotic. This is the United States of America, and any symbol of the Civil War or the Confederacy symbolizes a time when the nation could not have been more divided. It symbolizes a time when more people were killed than in all other wars we fought combined, simply because some rich oligarch plantation owners didn't want to give up their right to own people and exploit them whatever way they wanted to. And in my view, having a statue of Robert E. Lee is no better than having a statue of Mussolini or Hitler or Saddam Hussein or any other or any brutal dictator. You know, it's like it disheartened me. It hurt me, all the violence and death yesterday. But I couldn't be happier that a statue of Robert E. Lee is coming down. No state capital has any business flying a Confederate flag because it represents the most shameful time in our nation's history.
Yep. Agreed with you. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you, man. Let's get to
Ann and Aurora.
Yep.
Ann,
my girl Ann. Ann, how
Hello,
be we?
how you doing?
I'm
How
good.
is everyone today?
Fantastic. How are you?
Can I make a few points?
Okay, get them in.
Okay. The hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in times of great moral crisis, maintain their neutrality. This is a quote.
So there are hotter places in hell than others? Some of it's a little warmer. Some of it's closer to the equator. I get that. Yeah. Okay.
The hottest places in hell.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And a couple other points. For the last 8 years, some people have become complacent and did not vote. So we did not bother to see that the thief was cracking the door open. Once he had his foot in the doorway, it was hard, very hard to close that door. That crack was complacency. Some of us had given up, saying that a black man had been elected, so now I have done my part. Some even said, I don't need to vote. The media said she will win. And worst of all, some did not anticipate the strength of our enemy. Those Ben Carsons, those Amarosas, those that will smile in your face
Come on,
and all the time they want to take your place. Those backstabbers.
All right,
So
Ann.
those are the people we have to fear.
Yeah.
The
Agreed.
people have become neutral. And one more thing, you said something about that incident of the bombing of the mosque. a spokesman said that this is not America. But the thing is, he did not talk to any Native Americans, or he did not talk to any black people, and he did not talk to any Mexicans. Thank you and have a good day.
Man,
Thank you,
Ann
Ann.
was dropping some
Thank you,
science.
Ann.
Yeah, boy.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
You came on here profound today.
Yes, you did.
How about that?
I can hear a little. I can hear a little wisdom in Ann's commentary.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Let's see what's on Tommy's mind. Tom, what's up, man?
Well, no rant today, because let me tell you what's not being talked about. What's not being talked about is a woman who went to a peaceful rally, and she went to protest a thought of mine. And for that, she was crushed by a car, along with 19 other individuals. I don't know when or where or how or what makes a person cry. But somebody today doesn't have a sister. Somebody today doesn't have a mom. Somebody's friend today they will not talk to again. And all simply because of the state of mind that exists. And now people are trying to analyze how and why and all the rest of it, when the narrative has been played out over and over and over again. Suppression of the vote. I mean, just go right down of the line. Redistricting of counties.
Mm-hmm.
You act like you keep saying that they won the election. They did not win the election.
Yeah.
They paid for the election, and it's clear, and nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody wants to accept a simple premise that the one thing that you thought could never happen has in fact actually happened, and no one wants to right the ship. Hatred has been espoused from the moment the presidential election took place for the 45th president of the United States of America. A door was completely torn wide open, and it has been done this way simply because of a simple narrative that a human being laid down her life for people to understand and recognize that King says that we can all live together in peace, or we can all perish as fools. And if you cannot see what is clearly happening, if you cannot see what is going on, keep hiding and keep pulling your curtain down. Keep acting like you don't understand lawlessness. Keep acting like you don't get a mama who says, I just told my son don't do anything wrong, and yet he crushed 19 people, killed the person. And I got to ask you one last question as I go, because I'm not supposed to be long. But here's the best one of all. How come one group showed up with signs, just being non-confrontational? Another group showed up with not only weapons, but shields and clubs and concrete-filled bottles. If that doesn't tell you where you're at, and the police department knew it, where were they at? And with that, I won't say goodbye. I'll say keep listening to the family meeting, because see, you can get some sense out of this, but you sure as hell ain't gonna get no sense out of what's going on. Goodbye.
My man Tommy. You can catch Tommy at some point, Tommy's Tantrum at some point during the second hour of the family meeting every week here on our broadcast. So
can I comment on something about what a strand is? Look, I said to my wife over the weekend, I said, we're not going to go to war with North Korea. We're going to go to war with ourselves. And we are more vulnerable right now by a hostile country that wants
Within.
within, but also by a hostile country or countries coming in
Yeah.
because of all this turmoil going inside the family being the United States of America.
When we're divided, we are at our weakest.
And that's not just from an internal war that we can have, but another country that decides that they wanted to try to do something. Now would be the time, because we're so divided, and it's going to the chasm's only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Agreed.
So,
yeah, I know.
Whatever. You know, something got to happen. Something has to happen. You can't get around it.
Nope.
No.
So low you can't get
And
over.
you know, we haven't really hit it like I wanted to today. It's that social and economic violence that you get distracted
It's
from
there.
because of this going on in Charlottesville.
How many of those people?
Right? I mean, don't tell me that it doesn't go on. Don't tell me that my cousin Tyrone didn't get a job. Well, he wasn't skilled enough. Don't tell me that.
The race card conversation again. Don't tell us that we start the race card, because every single day we deal with this kind of unknown violence every day. It's subtle and it's overt.
Right. And these are the people who aren't showing up in Charlottesville, who for a lot of different reasons.
But silently cheering.
These are the people that are taking vacations in Chicago, walking down Michigan Avenue, pretending like it's their street, and I can walk to the Walgreens 2 blocks away from me and have to damn near apologize to clearly a family that has no clue about decorum, about walking on the street, until a white person comes along and they move out of the way for them.
That's how it shows up. Okay, last break. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
I'ma tell you party people how I began. It started when I'm living in Long Island. Hey, when I was a kid, I used to play in the street, making sounds with my mouth, all sorts of beats. Grown people used to say, what? Grown people used to say, what? Wrong with that? Kid making that strange noise. It was like for all the fighters and all the homeboys. Then I tried it at home.
This is Abdel Shakur, Mr. Know-It-All. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
When it came by the DJ, I saw who it is. They said, make the music with your mouth, bitch. Make the music with your mouth, bitch.
A basic and essential part of any financial plan is savings. Most of whatever cash you have will be there because you put it there, not necessarily because of some fancy investment. Now with Save and Plan, Polaris is introducing a new way for you to get empowering financial advice. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up to save, Polaris will help you develop a customized financial plan and give you a real person to speak with. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com and call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone.
Securities, insurance, and advisory services offered through FSC Securities Corporation. Member FINRA SIPC. Insurance services offered through Polaris Insurance Agency, Inc., which is not affiliated with FSC Securities Corporation.
Itsashort.com. The website is itsashort.com, spelled ITSASHORT.com. We are the best designation on the internet for award-winning short film, video, and web series. Artists are from all over the world. They are award-winning from various festivals, but you can find us at info@itsashort.com, customer care at itsashort.com, and we'll get back to you straight away.
The Law Office of Darnell Lyles is ready to help you, whether it's personal injury, criminal, DUI and OWI, nursing home, product liability, it doesn't matter. Call 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. That's right. When you're driving and get into a wreck.
You better call Darnell.
Had a few drinks too many? A cop hits you with a DUI or OWI?
I think you better call Darnell.
Arrested and facing criminal charges, misdemeanor or felony?
I think you better call Darnell.
Purchase a product that causes you or a loved one harm?
I think you better call Darnell.
When your loved one is neglected and abused in a nursing home?
I think you better call Darnell.
That's right. You better call Attorney Darnell Lyles and get represented right. And the first consultation is free. Yes, free. So call right now. 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. Attorney Darnell Lyles. Darnell Lyles.
This is a journey. Journey into sound.
Would you join me, please, in welcoming
Redeem
I'm full of culture. Get it. I got so much trouble on my mind. Refuse to lose. Here's your ticket. To the drummer get wicked. The crew to you to put the back to black attack.
Hi, this is Wendy Calvert at wcalvertlaw.com. Welcome back to the family meeting.
Yeah, so I don't know if we've got enough time today to try to figure out or address appropriately the violence that we know happens outside of Charlottesville. But let me get, because my man Craig or Greg, or what Lady B spelled this, so I got to get to Craig. Is it Craig or Greg, man?
Eric, you got it right. It's C, Craig.
Craig, okay. She just spelled it wrong. Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I told y'all.
You know, this morning when I heard, you call Commander idiot chief or whatever, and he mentioned both sides, I was stunned. More so than some of the things he said, outlandish stuff that he said during his campaign. And then later in the day,
why were you stunned? Why were you stunned? I mean, he's been an idiot all of his life. Why are you stunned that he's an idiot now?
I know. And what he says still blows my mind. But anyway, Joy Reid was on later, and she sounded much more presidential than he ever could. And, I think you have hit the nail on the head with institutional racism, and I've witnessed it firsthand, and it's very obvious and blatant, and is pathetic. But people don't see that, and when people call themselves conservatives, well, the definition of that is keeping things the same. And I think, and I don't know if it was Steve on the Gold Coast or whatever, but. And he said, some of these people want it to be back like it was in the 50s. I think the hats that he always wears that make America great again, I always said during his campaign that it should say make America white again.
Yeah.
Because that was his message. And that's what the people were buying.
We know
that's what the people were buying. And I've been ashamed of this country that they could elect somebody like this. It just is beyond me. But I'll let you guys go. Great show. And until next week.
Craig, thanks, man. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, as the alt-right were marching, they were making statements like, you will not replace us. The Jews will not replace us.
Mm-hmm.
So where this whole white people thinking that they are under attack here comes from, I just don't know.
Oh, yeah. It has roots now. So it's the same thing that these Southern slave owners did to convince the poor people to go to war on their behalf.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's the same game that they've played. Right. It's the same game that Nixon played with his war on crime, war on drugs.
War on drugs.
Right. Where he categorized drugs as bad, and then he associated drugs with black people.
Yep.
And then just started jailing people. Same thing with Reagan.
And that's what, during Nixon's administration, how so many drugs were being filtered into the top 10 most populated black cities in America.
Yeah.
Malcolm X called it right when he said, and I'm paraphrasing, you don't get the liquor label into a community without the government being involved in it. Yeah. The same thing applies with drugs.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And the idiot has declared the opioid crisis just that.
Oh, that is so damn offensive.
Crisis.
Eric's head's gonna blow off.
I know.
Oh man,
but when it was us, with crack,
it's
criminal.
Yo, I need a minute, man.
Yeah,
you brought that up. I need a minute, man.
I'm sorry.
And the resources, the resources that are about to be diverted
to that. Yes.
When all I said it in the car the other day. I was like, really, this is just it blows my head off. It's a crisis. It's an epidemic of, these people are just having such a difficult time.
Yes.
Really?
The
How many
opioid.
people a day? Damn. Oof.
Yeah.
How many people a day died during the crack epidemic? Because it's like 142. I think I saw the number is now.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
But Eric, I got to come back to something. I know we're gonna get it. I got to come back to something because this is
I almost cussed.
You did.
I almost cussed.
You had to stand to the point of you saying about digging in on this though. I want to come back to something you said early on the show. The hidden racism day to day, the hidden violence day to day. Okay.
Economic and social violence.
The guy that just called in. This is the thing I want to say. Look. for the white Americans, male, female, that are so incensed by what's happening and know that there's institutional racism in America and you see it, I'm sorry. But if you are the person that you say you are I'm an American, I'm a good American, how can my country be this way? Then you need to stop saying that and start to do, if you see it in your workplace.
But listen, my man from Sandwich said it earlier. He didn't know what to do.
I understand that.
We have to tell them what to do.
Well, so then we'll take the responsibility.
Don't go to a black church. Don't do that.
Right.
That ain't the answer.
No,
No.
it's not. What you said earlier about exclusively purchased from black-owned businesses.
Right. Which is the opposite of what happens now.
Correct.
Which is what people exclusively buy from white-owned businesses.
But also, Eric, and I shouldn't say but, and in addition to that, be willing when your white counterparts do something, say something stupid, call them out. They have to put something at risk.
That's cool though,
as
man.
well as their dollars.
That's cool. I wish they would too, but I still subscribe to the tenet that there's only two ways to change people.
Okay.
Physical pain or fiscal pain.
All right. So
and the only way to deploy fiscal pain is to change where you spend your money.
And there's ways to do that within the workplace. So for example, I go in and make a presentation to an entire white room. 12 people sit at the conference room table. I leave, and any of the people that called in today that said they're incensed by this covert racism, that's economic racism day to day, I leave that presentation, and 3 of the white people in that meeting walk away and make a negative, a nasty, a racial comment about me presenting to them. I think at that point, those other employees or the one that heard it that has the issue with racism needs to call that person out on the spot, even if it means going to HR. That is equally economic power.
Okay, if they go to HR and affect their ability to earn, I could see that. But just to try to, hey, don't do that. That's bad.
You're right. You're right. I
don't think you change anybody. I think they just get mad at you.
They get mad at you. Right. But anyhow.
Right. Let's get we got to work on your spelling, Lady B.
Adrian. Yo, Adrian.
It's like Adruan. Is it Adruan?
Adruan.
Adruan? What is it, man?
Adrian.
Yeah,
like
JB. Lady B jacked your neck. She holding her glasses up. Little Miss Kettle up in there. Ma Kettle back there with her glasses can't see.
I love that show, Ma Kettle.
So funny.
What's up, Adrian?
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't be with you all for a few weeks. I went off and got married, but I'm back and all is good.
Congratulations.
No, man, what you want to go do something fool ass like that for, man?
You know what? Stop it. Stop it.
It was a shotgun wedding. I had no choice.
That's what's up, Adrian.
I knew you were a smart dude, man. Somebody had to have a gun pointed at you. I knew that, man.
I want to talk to your wife now. Get her on the phone.
You don't let the women get together like that,
Yes,
man.
you
Don't
do.
let it happen, bro. Keep them apart.
She's right here.
No.
Yes.
You newly married because you don't know what you're doing, player. You just stepped on your own foot.
Adrian, I need to talk to your wife.
No, don't let her talk to your wife, man. They will conspire against you, man. Next thing you know, you'll be in the basement, chained to the damn wall.
You know what? If you all probably have my number, or you can get it off air, and I'm sure you two will hit it off wonderfully.
Well, thank you, because I'm going to do.
Adrian,
I'm writing your number down right now.
We need to call the Popo come over there and save you from this girl.
We need to rescue you.
And I'll put her on the phone, and you two will hit it off wonderfully.
Good.
Don't do it, man. I'm told you, man.
How you doing today, Adrian? What's on your mind?
I'm doing fine. Okay, so I'm going to stay on topic and talk about this whole Charlottesville thing. And I'm going to say this, and this is in all seriousness. This is not tongue-in-cheek. I'm not joking. And I'm going to give it some context. It warms my heart to see what I saw down there in terms of, I didn't see it happening live, so I saw clips later, but every time I saw a clip of what happened, there were more people of the Caucasian persuasion in the streets that were anti-racism protesters than there were people of color.
Very true.
And nothing warms my heart more than to see those folks put some skin in the game for us.
Very true.
Yeah. Now, okay, so you do know that they're calling these white people Antifa. You heard that name?
I understand.
Okay.
And here's the context. Here's my context. When this happened hundreds of years ago, right? When slavery started and it was solid, and then when slavery was starting to be turned around, they called those Antifas abolitionists.
True.
That's what they were.
Mm-hmm.
They were abolitionists.
Mm-hmm.
So from my frame of mind is those abolitionists won the day back then because we ain't in chains no more. And these Antifas or whoever, whatever it is, I mean, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So call them whatever you want. If they're fighting on the side of my justice, I'm with them.
Yeah, I'm
they
with
can
you.
call whatever they want.
Well, you know what? And to my man Malcolm X told us this: if a group of people speaks a certain language, the only way to communicate them is to speak their language. And if these idiots want to speak with that kind of violence, here you go. I get it right back to you.
That's right.
Good point.
That's right.
That's right. Hey man, I appreciate you holding so long, man. And good
Yeah.
Lord, man,
Thank
got
you,
married,
Adrian.
man. Something wrong with you, man?
Congratulations,
I did.
Adrian. One of the best things you've probably done. And I say that with all due respect to you and your wife.
Don't
Yes.
listen to her, man.
Congratulations, Adrian.
You're gonna be all right.
Adrian,
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Adrian, run,
Thank
man.
you.
A lot
Adrian.
of foolish decisions in my life, but this wasn't one of them. She's a wonderful woman.
Thank you.
You go, brother.
Thank
Adrian,
you.
run, man.
Don't-
Run, dude.
Don't
run.
listen to Eric.
Run, hey,
Run to her.
Run to her. I was just gonna say, Adrian, run
there
to
you
her.
go. Run to her.
Slam the door behind you. Run, bro.
I'm running to her.
Look, man, I'll scoot by. You jump in the car when I come by. all right?
And then I'll bring you, and then Adrian, then I'll bring you back home because you know she's gonna be upset if you run out with him.
That's because his wife listening, man.
See,
that?
there's always somebody that's going to be there to get me back where I need to
You
be.
know that's
you
right.
go. We got you,
You better hear
Adrian.
me, brother. You better hear me, man. I'm trying to tell you, bro.
All right.
All right, man.
Be good.
Take care.
Man.
Have a great evening.
You too.
Okay, let's get Eugene. You spell that crazy too, Lady B. Good Lord.
Eugene.
Eugene. It's Eugene, right?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can. Officially, your name is Eugene today, though.
How's everybody doing?
We're good,
good.
Eugene.
Good, man. Thanks for asking.
Good. Well, let's get to it because I had a lot to say, not that much time. But yesterday, what happened was not a surprise to me. It's been boiling, and it finally boiled over. When you put all these nuts together, something's going to pop off. Well, actually, it happened the night before, and the president and nobody said nothing about the night before. The night before, all that was missing were the hoods. That's all that was missing the night before. And then yesterday, they pulled the hoods off again, and they showed you what they want. It's a certain group, and I don't say it's a little. I don't think it's just this little segment. I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot of people that resent this country becoming browner by the day. The Republican Party has been tolerating this nonsense for a long time. And I always brought the question, how are you going to run for president of the whole United States when you don't even want to represent the whole United States? And we saw that yesterday. And if you don't believe, forget Steve Bannon, forget all these other people, if you don't believe Donald Trump is a white nationalist, that Donald Trump is part of the alt-right, what more proof you need than yesterday? As a famous, God bless his soul, he's gone now, coach used to say, he's who we thought he was. He's who we thought he was. You want Brownie? Promise that.
That was a good one, man.
Yeah,
that was a good one,
Yeah.
man.
Very good.
Well, that's Dennis Green, right?
Yep, Dennis Green.
Who we
Yep.
thought they were.
They are.
You let 'em off the
They
hook.
thought we were. Yeah.
Thought they were this.
Yeah.
So they thought we were.
Eugene. My man Eugene. I appreciate that, man.
Thank you, sir.
Keep it tight and
You
Belvedere.
too,
too.
man. Who we thought
Yeah,
he was.
David Duke reminded him when Trump made that little statement on Twitter about we need to come together.
Yeah.
David Duke reminded him real quick, said it was white Americans that put you in that office,
Yeah.
not the liberals.
Look, I said this early on after the election. I told my wife, I said, if he don't act right, it ain't gonna be the folks that didn't put him in office that take him out. And I don't mean by vote or by the 25th Amendment. This is the time where he proved that he wants to stay in office and stay on the good side of the people that put him in office. The person that will violently in this presidency isn't going to look like us.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not. It's going to look like one of those people that follows David Duke.
Yeah.
I had to keep that in the fairway here because I know what I can't say.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
But the violence of the violence that we started the show off that Eric introduced is going to be there tomorrow.
Well, it's cooked in the cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you know, the only way you get around it is really to force it with things like I told Nick from Sandwich. I said, you just have to move where you spend money.
Yeah.
People, they hop to it. You start, the money get funny.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Whoa, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Right about that.
Hold on. All that Negro stuff we talked about?
Yeah, let's stop that.
I didn't even mean that.
I ain't mean that. I ain't mean none of that. I ain't mean none of that.
Nope. Watch him. I promise you. Listen, you heard it from your boy E. You heard it from your boy E. Make that money funny.
Yeah.
You change everything.
Change everything.
Right.
Which is
even if you purposely pile money up in one specific place and make somebody rich all of a sudden. This just all of a sudden you decided what's a good black business? Ebony magazine.
Yeah.
Let's just decide all the white people in the country who are like-minded, you subscribe to Ebony. Although Ebony's not black owned anymore, is it?
No.
Who's black owned now?
We'll take one of Magic Johnson's business.
Magic don't really own his business.
Okay.
He just put his name on it.
Okay.
Wow.
We'll think of a black business during the break.
Yeah.
How about that? And tell you, take all your money there. Everybody go subscribe or buy from this company and make that person go to Mrs. Bubble Bath.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Although you're going to work her ass to death. She'd be in her bathtub making soap all night.
And I'll do it.
Make Tressa rich. Don't buy soap from anybody but Tressa.
There you go.
For a year.
Yeah.
And watch him change.
And watch him change. Yeah.
Well, look, let's rewind real quick. Bill Cosby. Forget about all the sexual whatever.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby's son was assassinated because he wanted to buy NBC. And he had the money to do it.
He had the money to do it. Yeah.
And now we take that and go, why didn't that happen? It's because if Bill Cosby owns NBC, it changes a whole bunch of stuff.
A bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
I know, yeah. We gon' get up. I see you there. We gon' get up, but I know we gon' get up.
I'm Zena Smith, the owner of Masters Plus Tutoring Program, and the Family Meeting will be right back.
I know you're down. When you gonna?
Polaris is introducing a new way for you to get empowering financial advice. Save and plan. If you are like a lot of people, you'd like to work with a financial planner, but don't know if you earn or have enough to invest. Save and Plan will allow us to work with nearly anyone from young professionals to retirees looking to travel the world. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up, Polaris gives you a customized financial plan, a real person to speak with, and information to help you make good financial decisions. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com. Call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone. Securities, insurance, and advisory services offered through FSC Securities Corporation. Member FINRA SIPC. Insurance services offered through Polaris Insurance Agency, Inc., which is not affiliated with FSC Securities Corporation.
The name of my business is Mrs. Indecent Exposure. We are an intimate aromatherapy, massage, bath, and body shop. We have the best aromatherapy, bath, and skincare products available. You can find us in Chicago and on the World Wide Web. We're located at 6916 West North Avenue in Chicago, 3 blocks east of Harlem Avenue, 773-417-3223. Mrs. Indecent Exposure, MRSNDEXPO.com.
Are you single? Won't you tell me, baby? Single? Are you available for me? Won't you tell me, baby? Are you single?
Hey, Chicago, this is motivational speaker and author William A. Edie II, author of the book Listen If You Want to Succeed. Welcome back to the family meeting.
Look at the look on his face.
I know.
Yeah, you bogus.
Yeah.
You bogus.
A little wry smile. He was trying not to smile, wasn't he?
I
He
saw
was looking
that.
away because he
just
knew. He's like, if I look up, I'm gonna bust out smiling.
You bogus.
Oh, hey.
So everybody came in the middle of a thought. So you need to share your thoughts with people because they're coming in the middle of your thoughts.
I said, look at here. We just talked to Adrian about getting married and how that's a great thing. And he gonna pull up this song talking about, are you single? He bogus.
He is, and he couldn't look at us because he knew he was gonna have bust out with the laugh.
I love this song. I love the bass line of this song.
Whatever.
Did you hear the bass at the beginning of this song?
It was just a convenient, just
Did you hear the bass?
All the great bass players.
Just a winky dink, huh? Yeah.
Don't do this. Don't do this. All right, the little claw thing, the little
You don't like that?
crab claw thing.
You don't like that? Okay.
That
You don't like that?
The
Okay.
Stanley Clarks of the world are impressed with the opening bass. Yes, but the fact that you slipped it in was pretty good. So,
are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Can I dive in on something about institutional when it comes to the economic piece and that we talked about earlier? Look.
Okay, dive in then.
Go. Jeff Sessions, part of the Trump
Bring
administration.
that boy up.
Because it is part of
Damn.
the literal, the tactical part of what happened this weekend.
Elf
lands in his lap. Because y'all remember a few weeks ago, before he and Trump started to have their little bad date scenario, he talked about laws being enacted that would allow for citizens during a protest, if they felt that their progress was being affected, that it wouldn't be criminal for them to drive through a crowd. Jeff Sessions said that. You can look it up.
Yeah, he did.
So that's the tactical part of this.
Yeah, but see, what we do is we continue to point out things like that, and
people don't hear it.
Well, they hear it, but I'm not shocked.
No, I'm not. But I'm saying the reason I said it that way is
I expect it.
Right. But this is part of the institutional piece.
Well, that's true. But here again, I expect it.
Fair enough.
I expect it. I mean, we know it, we live it, we see it every day.
Yep.
Yes.
I expect it.
Yes.
So what the news especially has a way of doing this, of saying things like that, or playing quotes from people, and people are aghast. Oh, what happened? Listen, that's what we expect from people like that. From this guy, Sessions, we expect it from him. From that idiot in the White House, why does he wrap his hair around his head like that? Why does he do that? Why?
It took almost a full show, but he got it in.
What do you expect from idiots like that? I mean, really? I mean, when you get these Klansmen together like they got in Charlottesville, what do you expect?
So you know me. This is where I say. So where do we go forward? What's our go forward on this? On the economic opening?
Everybody. Is it Mrs. Bubblebath up?
Oh yeah, MrsBubblebath.com.
Is it Mrs. or Miss?
Mrs. MRS.
Bubblebath.
Bubblebath.com.
MrsBubblebath.com.
Yes. Mhm.
So everybody spend $100 for dressing.
Blow up her business.
Yeah.
Blow it up.
Blow it up.
Right.
And if you got
don't buy no more Ivory or Dial or none of them soaps.
Nope.
Just buy soap from
without them chemicals in it.
And if you're gonna, I mean, and literally, we can get down to really quick brass tacks. If you're gonna buy a car, go to a black auto dealership. If you're gonna go have a financial plan put together, call up Eric. Deal with the black business owner if you really feel a certain consciousness about the injustice.
And you should inconvenience yourself in the effort, because really it's not easy to find a black business
and make some noise about it.
When you go grocery shopping, you may have to go all the way in the city, but go to a black-owned grocery store.
Go to a black-owned grocery store.
And trust me,
or find yourself a black farmer.
And white folks, you ain't got nothing to worry about when you're going into a black neighborhood. It's a myth. You're gonna be just fine.
You're safer than I am.
Yeah, y'all gonna be just fine.
Right.
Just fine.
They ain't not gonna mess
They ain't gonna mess with you.
Yeah.
That's the truth. But that is the truth. They are not gonna mess with white folks.
It may look scary, but
no.
They ain't gonna mess with you.
And part of the reason they don't want folks to come in is because they don't want the economic dollars coming in. They realize this stuff is just as good as it is up on the north side.
So to that point, that's why we're painted in the pictures that we're painted in, because they do not want that economic boost to come.
Where are the pictures of the black family, the kids walking, hanging, everybody just having a good time? Where are the pictures of the brother standing in front of their property with their suit and tie on, the sister standing in front?
Yeah, chit-chatting.
No,
All of that. None of that.
It's the thug visual that affects us economically.
It's the same tactic used again in the South in the Civil War when the rich landowners. By the way, these people who they sent to war were unhappy because they didn't have income or jobs, and there's no way they can compete with free labor.
Nope.
Those are jobs that they should have had. They should have been forcing the Southern landowners to pay them to do the work.
Do the work, exactly.
But they couldn't because they were buying slaves.
Yep. So the white Southerners who got irked about that should have looked at it from an economic standpoint rather than a skin color standpoint.
But they were tricked into thinking it was the animalistic Negroes who were going to rape their women, and they should go to war and fight so that they could remain slaves.
Yep. Not realizing all along that they were fighting a war where they weren't going to get any economic gain in the first place.
Now,
the slave owners were going to get the gain. Come on, y'all.
Now nothing.
And it's still happening.
That's what they say in the South, don't they? Now bit. You ain't finna get now bit.
Nah.
Not nan, not a nan nutter. Not a nan nutter.
You ain't get nothing. Tommy's back. Let's see what's on Tom's mind. Tom, you got something else, man?
Hey, 20 seconds. Watch this. Those Confederate statues should have never, ever been taken down because they are the absolute proof for when an idiot says that white America wants to take their country back, and nobody wants to acknowledge the fact that those statues prove that it was white people who rose up against white people who tore up their damn country in the first place. Now go smoke that one.
Yeah, because there wasn't no black people fighting in the Civil War. Not nope.
No. But you know, that's the intellectually lazy people will believe otherwise. There's nothing you can do about that.
More black people fought in the Revolutionary War than fought in the Civil War.
I heard Bill Maher today on Fareed, and I'm trying to get clear on what he said, but I thought he was saying that some of the votes that went to the idiot are winnable.
Okay.
Implying that somehow or another progressives should be figuring out how to win those votes back. And if it takes some sort of effort on the part of progressives to win those votes back, I don't want that little stinking vote.
Yeah, because
if they can't see what's going on now,
why should we have to work for their vote? They should be smart enough to see that they made a mistake, apologize for it, and do the right thing.
If they ain't smart enough, then you'll never win it back.
Nope.
You never win it.
It's wasted. Yeah, it's wasted effort.
No, I wouldn't even try. And I think that the Democrats will spend a lot of money. And by the way, I don't necessarily think that the Democrats are going to give us good candidates to vote for.
I've been hearing that conversation, and I'm the optimist, but I'm also the realist. We need to stop telling what's not going to happen and go back to something you've said continuously. We got to find those candidates that are going to be inspiring, that are going to be excitable and worth voting for. That's kind of the position that I'm following you on. We have too many people saying that we don't have a bench. Well, let's create the bench rather than saying we don't have a bench.
So that's the other thing too. I mean, when I was in DC, I was a friend of mine, and she's probably listening now, Kathy. Hey girl. Kathy was trying to encourage me, because she was encouraging me when I ran for the school board. And she said, we need more people who aren't afraid to speak their mind, have a voice, have a position to run for office. And I wonder, on both sides of the political spectrum, are you recruiting new candidates? I know some people in the Republican Party who I may not disagree. I may disagree with their philosophy or belief in it economically, but they're reasonable people to talk to.
Yep.
Right. And you need opposing views. I think if you have opposing views,
if you're going to grow,
right, you have to have opposing views so that you come together and have one good idea.
Yep. So
those people can't bust through. And it's the same on the Democratic side. Good people can't bust through.
Did you see there's a group, it's called it's about more independent voting, and 45%, there was a poll taken this past week, I guess 45% of voting Americans call themselves independent. It's a major shift in this last election. 28% call themselves Democrat, 23 Republican. But the 45%, to your point about you not voting differently, but where are those bench players on both sides of the aisle? And I think that money,
they're not popping through.
No, and money is having a lot to do with it. Citizens United is definitely having a lot to do with that.
Yeah. Okay, Tressa. Okay, tell us what's going on. I see you focused on YouTube.
There is a hearty discussion going on YouTube. It's basically revolving around the issues of race and how individuals, should be seeing each other as an individual, and we all bear our own responsibilities for in this thing that we call racism as it pertains to race and how it's being taught, how one perceives it. So it's just a hearty discussion that's going back and forth between a few of the people that are on.
So the implication there is not that we don't see color. Nobody's trying to assert that.
Well,
we don't see, and we shouldn't see color.
See color.
It's not that we don't see it or that we shouldn't see it. Okay. One of the comments is point being that it's not the time to teach that race does not matter or that it does not exist. It does matter, and it does exist in terms of who has what standing versus another in our society. A response to that was teach people to respect all living things, judge as things happen to you, don't have a determination or a determining thought about people. The response.
That's almost impossible to teach that. Because society will conflict with that. The society and the media will conflict with that.
Exactly. And, one of my responses was, if we think of it in those terms, then we have to make sure that when people are expressing and talking about things when it comes to race, that they understand that as they're teaching, you're still teaching differences.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the responses to, and racism, when you teach those differences, you're teaching that person that they're different.
They are.
Yeah. And that conversation is a great conversation. And no one is immune from prejudging. Prejudging is not bad. Prejudging can save your life. That doesn't mean that
that's not predetermining.
Right.
You're making an
assessment.
You're making an assessment.
And then, but to say that you can't teach, you can't seek for growth without talking about people's differences.
Right.
I think that's kind of
But the thing I think we miss though is really kind of a deep down. First off, we live in tribes. Mm-hmm. This is tribal behavior we're seeing manifested in modern times. People separate by color because they belong to certain tribes. This is what human beings, it's what animals, it's what mammals do.
Mm-hmm.
The question is are we warring? I was asking myself just this weekend, as a matter of fact. So you've got people building bombs that can kill hundreds of thousands of people at once. And you wonder, okay, what the hell? How are you so mad? Why you want to kill 100,000 people? What I mean, really? I mean,
yeah. When
you just as easily could
create a cure for a disease to save 100,000 people.
Right. I mean, why you want to kill 100,000 people? Why are we here? Why do countries, why is Russia hell-bent on changing or affecting an election in the United States? So they could do what? So, and the only conclusion I could come to is one, it's tribal,
mm-hmm.
and two, it's money.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, tribal is money.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so when we talk about that, we talk about things that the two tribes face, and when those two tribes face opposition, why do they have to war instead of coming together to solve?
That's tribalism.
Tribalism.
Okay.
You never come together.
So then that's a mentality.
No, it's human nature.
Human nature.
You never come together. You remain in your tribe. The question is, can you keep the tribes from warring?
Part of it survive. Part of it does have something
So
to do
then,
with
so then what
survival
you're
of the fittest.
so then what you're essentially saying is that with that being tribalism, never will we ever emerge out of.
No, you never come together. We're never one. Okay. We're always in our tribes. The question is, can we keep from warring?
Mm-hmm.
And once a tribe gets one up on another tribe,
mm-hmm.
they want to stay one up,
and they want to continue.
Listen, if I had black privilege, I'd be damned if I'm giving it up. So I understand if you're a white dude, and you enjoy certain privileges, you're trying to keep it, and I'm trying to take it from you. I get that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I would. That's why this movie that this thing that HBO is doing, or
Confederate.
Yeah, and then the counter to that is basically what if blacks had acquired that's 4 states after the Civil War.
That'd be fun to look at.
So what's
the best example
Will
of that?
Packer is doing doing this as a pushback to Confederate.
The best example of that is the island of St. Vincent.
You were just talking about that.
If you haven't, look up St. Vincent and
Is
learn
that the
about
wall where the river went through and then it divided the tribes and
No.
the food?
St.
Okay.
Vincent is an island where they were never slaves. Watch that.
Got it.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right. Tune into the family meeting every Sunday at 4. Thank you, Lady B. Thank you, Black Asian Dude. Thank you, Tressa, for all the work you do on the news.
You are very welcome.
Tune into the- Yeah, hit us every Sunday, y'all, and find us on YouTube.
And let's continue this next week.
Okay, we'll do that. See y'all. Peace.
So get it right, you be like that. It's that big man, we all up to life. That's right. Game airtight, while you caught up in the hype. That's right. That's Jiggy, me Jiggy. Baby, you ready for Big Daddy?
I want your body.
Say what?
The way you touch
Here we go, mama.
me. Driving in your
That's
Cadillac.
right.
You can
That's
be
right.
my big daddy. Take it slowly. Have it hold night. Driving in your Cadillac. You can be my big daddy.
You on my mind like all the time. You genuine and you fine. Vision you like dollar sign. Booby all that and then some. Job all that. Mad income. And New York is where she represent from. 24/7. You the one that I be sweating. You a dime, that's no question. Couldn't be nothing less. Sexually, the best next to me. I confess you got me hooked on like phonics. Oh, my head's on. Now sip you ready. You give them all like Demi. Good and plenty. Nothing could compare to you. Boo, I swear to you. I feel for you. For real for you. All I wanna do is be with you. Might even steal for you. You walk like you talk like you sexy. When you kiss me, you bless me, undress me, caress me. You on my mind like all the time. You genuine and you fine. Vision you like dollar sign. Yeah.
I want your body.
Say what?
The way you touch me. Driving in your Cadillac. You can be my big daddy. Take it slowly. Have it hold night. Driving in your Cadillac. You can be my big daddy. I want your body.
One fat hen, a couple of ducks, 3 brown bears, 4 running hares, 5 fat Emilys.
You won't dance. 6 simple Simon sitting on the stump, 7 Siamese sailors, 7 to 17. 8 egotistical egotists, eating out resistance. 9 nibbling nubians, nibbling nass knuckles, nicotine. 10 tenacious turnabout nations attracted to thickly, thankfully, Timbertown.
We back at you again. WGAP. If y'all thought we was gone. Now dig. Liddy. Really dumb. It's about that bumping up your gum. If you in for fun. Now would y'all say that for me? Fun. Say.
If you want some fun, then you got to let us know.
Up jump, you're bumping up your gum, sucker and thing. Double jaw jacket. Say it again. Fun.
If you want some fun, then you got to let us know.
Up jump, you're bumping up your gums and things. Can you dig it? Get to the script. Say it again, y'all.
If you want some fun, then you got to let us know.
Got
somebody, let me see it, baby. Let's get down.
Oh yeah, you gon' dance, sucker.
If you want some fun,
if you in,
then you got to
hit me with the one and ten.
Got somebody, let me see it, baby. Let's get down.
It's about that talking back, sucker. Close your mouth, boy. Don't you dare talk back to me. I ain't mad. I ain't playing you, sucker. Hello. Regonomics. To the script, you dig. It's alright. I can't stand it either, sucker.
Let's got somebody, let me see it, baby. Let's get down with it.
You dig. It's alright. I can't stand it either. Say up.
Let's got somebody, let me see it, baby. Let's get down with
so
it.
bumping up your gum.
If you want some fun,
you in,
then you got to let us
with
know.
the one and
Let's got somebody, let me see it, baby. Let's get down with it.
Hello.
If you want some fun, then you got to let us know. Let's got somebody, let me see it, baby. Let's get down.
Oh yeah, you gon' dance, sucker. Check me out.
Oh no, not chickens. 1 fat hen, a couple of ducks, 3 brown bears, 4 running hares, 5 fat Emilys,
6 simple salmon sitting on the stump, 7 Siamese sailors sailing the 7 seas, 8 egotistical egotists speaking in and out of existence, 9 nibbling nucleons, nibbling gnats, knuckles, and nicotine, 10 tenacious.
The money, the resource, all the other resources allows for balance. It allows for there to be an equal playing field. An equal playing field.
Okay, I just want to turn this on.
Then they don't.
Well, we know that playing. They don't want us to have a level playing field.
That's tribalism.
Because
it's tribalism.
I get that. I get that.
They know we need it.
No, it's tribalism.
But they know we need an equal. They know that by not allowing it to be an equal playing field.
I don't think that's it. I think there's a fear.
There is a fear.
Okay.
No, it's strictly resources. It's tribalism. We want all the resources. That's all it is.
But why? Because the fear is if we get any of those resources, then we're somehow going to remember what they did to us and turn that around. So that's where all of this white fear is coming from. That's what I believe.
I think deep down,
you don't think that they scared that if we got any type of up on them, that they would be?
No, because we got enough crazy people out here now that would do it now. We're not doing
it. We don't have the resources.
Yeah, we shoot each other. We could go out to Highland Park or Northbrook and shoot a bunch of motherfuckers if we wanted to.
No. We're not talking about from the standpoint of killing or extinguishing. We're talking about if the tides were reversed and we had all of the resources and they had to come to us, would we be the way they were to us?
But tribalism prevents that. Tribalism prevents that because they're fighting for resources, we're fighting for resources. When we equalizes, nobody's fighting anymore.
And that is the reason that, again,
if we get too many, you're right.
That's the conversation. Right. They don't want us to have too many. That's why the whole conversation.
No. It's not that they don't want us to have; it's that they want.
Correct. Remember when you said earlier that when you gain power, you want to maintain and keep all that you got.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's the reason why they don't want to see the balance. They don't want to see
because they don't want to lose the power.
Because they don't want to lose the power.
They don't want to lose
the resources.
But the resources are power.
The resources is the power.
Eric.
It's the other way around. The power comes in the resources.
If you take away the perception of Donald Trump having all this money that he said he had leading up to the election. Take that away. A lot of people said they voted for him because he was a wealthy businessman and could get things done. Take that resource or the perception of that resource, which is money, away.
And he's not president.
Jeb Bush is the candidate, or Marco Rubio becomes their candidate.
That's not tribal, though. That's an individual.
It is tribal because the people that supported him
were the
tribe.
Thinking.
They were the tribal thinking people that said, "This is our guy. He's going to lead our tribe."
Yes.
Otherwise, David Duke wouldn't have been a factor. You're right. I'm saying you're right. I'm just saying that the tribe.
But the discussion is always about resources.
And their resources are, we want our women, we want our money, we want our control. To Trust's point, if they get some of it, going back to what you said, why did we go to Civil War? They were telling them they're going to rape the women. They're going to. That was a resource. They view women as white guys as a resource.
Yeah,
I agree with you. So for that to be the front story was but if we don't control these Negroes, they're going to deplete our resource, which is our ability to.
Well, that's what they tricked the people among their tribe without resources into believing.
So the trick is still happening today.
Right.
They've turned it into something else, though.
Make America great again.
Now it's Make America Great Again.
Which
now it's
Make America white again. Our resources, our ability to control our women, to control our financial resources. If they get access to
racism.
Going back to what you said about the economic tortures every day. That's a resource. That's why I said, and I believe, that when a white person in corporate America who wants to call themselves open-minded, liberal thinking, balanced, leaves that group presentation that I just made, and 3 white people in that meeting go, how can we let that blankety blank come into our spot? They need to take them to home, be reported to human resource, because if that person's penalty is they don't get to work there anymore, that resource has gone down. So
that's micro.
And
it is.
And they also believe that, especially today, that there is no repercussion for their actions or their thoughts. There is no, they expect that we're going to continue as we are. There is no repercussions for it. So do you think that that is going to calm down or somehow get?
Why do you think? Why do you think they've been on a slow march to control the media? That's a resource. Of
No, see, but I get all that. Though. All I'm saying is that if we look at it from a macro standpoint about it being a tribal issue, then we address it differently. It's about resources. It's not about individual examples or we own this media.
So then, what's
it's
the
about
question?
the overall tribal?
So what's the definition of the resource then? What are the resources?
Well, I mean, the basic food, shelters, the basic resources, the stuff that
See,
you
I
need.
think that the resources have gone to another level. I think the resources now are the media. It is armaments.
Yeah, but you don't own a business just to own a business. You don't own a business to make money. You own a business to make money to get what you need. It's not about the money. It's about what the money buys.
It's about what the money buys.
And what it buys is resources.
True.
Okay.
True.
So
they don't just want the media. They want what the media buys for.
Which is why it's a resource that they want to control, and they don't want us to have fun.
Exactly.
Because
it's a tool, not a resource.
It's a resource, because if the resource gets them something, if the media gets
it's a
them
tool
something,
that gets them the resources.
Yeah,
Okay.
but if they see themselves,
tool that gets them the resources. I get it.
okay, but if they see themselves as on a different level or better than that other person, then how do you stop that thought process
You don't.
Because that goes back
Because I
to,
think I'm better than white people.
right, so that
Because I'm
goes-
in this tribe.
so therefore you're making my point. That kind of goes back to what one of the callers said last week about the one lady who said that she didn't believe that the government should force us by collecting taxes and you remember that to help people,
right?
That we should be able to do that on our own. Then you know what I'm saying? Then when you do that, you mentally make a judgment call of who you think is worthy of that help or not. Whereas with the government doesn't do that. The government has a set of criteria that says if you fall into this criteria, no matter what color, creed, whatever you are, you get this resource.
Government's a referee in that regard. It's a blind referee in that
Right.
regard. But she's judging the allocation of resources based on her need for her tribe.
Right, because she said that she doesn't think that businesses
Exactly.
should be the.
She did.
She said that government shouldn't
be
that businesses should be allowed to determine
who gets those resources. Yeah,
which
right.
I don't.
I don't agree with that. I don't, because then as an individual, if I don't like
If they're
you,
part
which
of
is
it,
what you're
it's
talking about,
another
they're part of
tribe.
a different tribe.
It's another tribe.
Then you don't get my resources.
It begs the question though, why then do you not like another tribe? And that's where the warring part comes
Okay,
from.
so then if we can get to that part of it, and that's where the societal constructs are created.
But you only don't like another tribe if you lack resources.
Oh no, that's not true. We see that today.
If that were the case, then there
If
would
that,
be
right,
there would
because
be
just like Richard just said, he could be in a room full of his equal counterparts, and because maybe he did something that they didn't do, now they don't like Richard.
But you've got micro again, and I get you.
No,
Because
that's not
That's
micro.
not
Well, it is.
micro.
It is.
It's how
Because
the
whatever
execution of the message is what's micro.
Exactly.
The fact that I'm in a room, there's 12 white people, I'm the one black person, and then I walk out and they diss me.
Yeah.
That's on them. That's their tribalism wanting to hold me down.
Yeah.
And their preconceived notions, or preconceived not notions but
Right.
storylines
Right.
that say we can't let him have our resources.
Right.
Yes,
And
it
why
is.
should it even be that way? Because whoever has the best plan overall should just be that person. Doesn't matter what color.
But that does circle back to Eric's point though about tribalism, because that tribe or those three people within that tribe, maybe the micro version of it says we can't let him be a part of what we're doing.
Exactly.
But to me, that's where a lot of this has to be wedged in terms of a corporate or not. I don't want to call it corporate, but a baked in problem when it comes to societal economic default. We have to get those situations corrected as much as we do with our schools as a resource.
And that comes back to the individual. It's never going to be a tribal solution. It's the individual
Well, tribes are made up
who
of
has to
individuals,
say.
so the
They're
individual-
made up, but if I go with the way the tribe thinks, I would hate all kinds of people.
Yeah, but back to your point about hate. There are people in the tribe who don't hate other people.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Well, that's because they're well resourced.
No.
Well, listen, look at all the people who are out there in the street. They're broke as hell. It's some little poor ass, trailer park living.
So you say, so then let's say of that 12 that I just gave a presentation, you and I gave a presentation to, of those 12 people, 12 people that are in that room, let's say that 3 of them walk out of the room and verbally diss me with a racial epithet. Okay, so are you saying the other 9 didn't because they have resources?
No, what I'm saying is that 3 dish you like that, 3 dish you in their minds, and the other 3 are indifferent.
So we
Which
still go back to an individual thought.
Not really, because now if you look at it as a tribe, you got 9 against 3.
9 that didn't diss me and 3 that did.
3 that didn't dish you.
No, 3 that did diss me.
3 dissed you
and 9
outwardly.
Outwardly, but
3 dissed you in their mind.
And
Who
6
just dismissed you, and then 3 were indifferent about it.
But those individuals made an individual decision to have that thought process.
They're all part of a
But
tribe.
the tribe moves according to the majority.
Right.
That's what needs to stop.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
you
needs
can't
to
stop that though. See, my point is you can't stop tribalism. The question is, how can we use tribalism to our advantage? You just can't stop it. If you by yourself with a bunch of white people and you see a brother or sister, what's up?
Right.
That's tribalism.
True.
It's not a negative tribalism.
The head nod walking down the street to a brother or sister is tribalism.
Right.
It's respect.
In a sea of white people, you see a brother, you nod.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's tribalism.
Yeah.
And it isn't bad. It just is what it is. The question is, how do you use tribalism for the greater society? And it has to deal with the equitable distribution of resources.
Okay.
Not taking resources from you and giving it to me.
So who's
give me as fair an opportunity as you have.
Who's running the till?
Oh, there you go.
Who's running the till?
The people with the most resources.
So how do you get them who are running the till to acquiesce and redistribute those resources?
How do you change people?
Okay. How do you do
physical
that?
pain or fiscal pain?
Okay.
So it's not just an individual going to make up their mind that that's what's right to do, that you got to force them to do it through physical pain or fiscal pain. So
That's
we're
right.
forcing people to do something that's not innately in them because we didn't.
That's
They
against
were
their
either not,
tribalism.
so they were not either taught that.
You can't get taught. I mean, you're taught
See,
tribalism.
that's where
But you're taught tribalism.
No. Because
yeah, part of being a tribe is the teachings of that tribe. So I don't fully agree with that.
Exactly.
Within a tribe, you're taught the mores, and you choose.
Thank you.
To either stay within that or
Thank
leave it. And if you
you.
leave it, there's pain. If you stay within it,
Thank
there's pleasure.
you. That's tribalism.
But that's
Right.
taught.
But that's taught.
Yes, it is, Eric. And
Yeah, but no, I'm not saying it's not taught. I'm just saying that's your tribe teaches you certain mores. You're right. That's your tribalism.
Right. So now,
but you can't unteach tribalism.
So like he said, who's running the till?
So who's running the till?
Where's the compass starting at?
Because let's just take the recent election
Exactly.
as a till monitor. What was it that we'll say we voted for Hillary or follow what she was doing? What was the thing, the mechanism that was going to cause pain to the folks with the greater resources to balance the resources out? What was that mechanism she wanted to put in place? Raising taxes.
Raising taxes.
And
Yeah.
they fought that
And
like
they-
nobody's freaking business.
Right.
But so you're right. I'm just saying the lever
Yeah.
that was going to be put in place
Yeah.
to
equalize.
reallocate
Yep,
the till
Yep.
was
Yep.
taxes,
And they didn't want that.
and they didn't want that. So when we so where's the pain?
Yeah.
What other angle is the pain going to come from?
Yeah.
Those three.
And they didn't see that there was an imbalance. Because if they saw that there was an imbalance and acknowledged
They didn't see the business
right,
case
and
that
didn't
Eric
see the
so often
business
talks
case,
about,
exactly.
which is if you distribute some of this a little bit differently, you're going
Right.
to have more in the long run.
And it takes
But
some of the pressure off of you.
But that comes back to tribalism because their tribe wasn't willing
Exactly.
or able to
Right.
see a redistribution actually brings more
Right.
back to you.
So Eric
Those-
says we can't change that though.
You can't change tribalism, but you can make the business case. So those three in that room who were indifferent, those are the people you have to win over.
So they're still going to be tribal But they just gonna do things differently.
They're gonna hold their shit. They're gonna hold. We're gonna hold our shit too.
Okay, I get it. I get what you're trying to say. I get it. I get what you're.
We have to try to figure out how to use that to our advantage.
Well, I was driving somewhere the other day, and I kept hearing in my head what you say often, and I believe as well, is making a business case for it. If there was a mistake that was made with the with the question about raising taxes, it was perceived as a social case rather than a business case.
Exactly.
I tell you what you do. Since the people who don't like raising taxes, and I don't like it either, why don't you cut taxes on select people instead of raising taxes and redistributing?
Yeah, people under a certain
just cut
income,
black people's taxes.
Don't have to pay taxes.
Cut black people's taxes.
Yeah.
Well, in a sense, isn't that what they want to do with a flat tax?
No, that's not equitable. It wouldn't work.
A flat tax wouldn't work.
Nah, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, just say okay.
Just cut black people's taxes. Or take a burden off of them.
If you make over $250,000, we're not going to raise your tax. Yeah, you know what? If you make over $250,000 a year, we're not going to raise your taxes. But everybody that's under that, that's of this particular economic or cultural tribe, you don't pay taxes for 10 years. Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
treat us like businesses coming in.
We're not going to raise
when you turn 18 and you black, and you're making less than $250, you don't pay taxes until you make $250 or 10 years or 15 years.
Yeah, why not?
All right, so I dare somebody.
I bet you if Eric and I ran on that.
Okay, wait. Now, do you think that if say that became some sort of like, do you think some folks would be like, man, please, I ain't gonna get to 250. I'm cool right where I'm at now. I got enough.
Well, hold on. That's what Reagan
but it's going to end in 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, so you have a window.
Yeah, it's a sunset.
Right. Okay, it has a sunset.
Sunset.
All right.
Y'all know
so you won't do what you can until you can.
Right.
Okay.
And what I can do is I can make the business case for that. I can make the case for introducing a whole segment of the population into the economy that's going to spend money with Walmart and Target and all them other places. You're going to benefit from this. I'm going to have more money in these Negroes' pockets.
Because they don't pay taxes. You got more revenue coming in. Now, what you do is hold on a second. Do y'all know that that's what Ronald Reagan did during his acting years? He would not get. He would only make a certain amount of movies or do a certain amount of work that kept him under $200,000. And this was back when $200,000 was stupid money. He did that intentionally because he did not want to make more money to have to pay at a higher tax rate. And became wealthy.
Because it was like 70% back then.
Yeah,
the highest tax
rate. So he kept his income under based on how much work he would take. He did that. So when people talk about Reagan,
hedge fund managers do that now too.
Yeah. So here we go. No taxes on you if you are of this particular tribe from this age until this age.
So you make
less than.
that actually could be an equalizer because we have generational wealth that's being handed down from generation to generation with others, but it ain't happening with us. So we've never had that opportunity, like you said, to accumulate wealth.
Right.
To make the business case for if you got more people in the pot, your portion is smaller.
Right.
Yeah, there was a gentleman who called the show one day. I don't know if you remember Jerry. Jerry made that case he actually said he was going to be opening up some businesses in the minority neighborhoods. He said because he was taught that wherever he isn't is where the money is.
I heard that.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. And I agree. I get it. I agree.
I dare a conservative to step up and say, no, we don't like a tax cut.
Wow.
Right.
Because just as many,
there's a number of. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, because you know where I'm going.
They don't
with
have
that.
it qualified. They're missing one of the qualified.
They're missing one of the qualified.
They're not of this tribe.
But then there'll be an issue with that. Why not me? Why you understand what I'm saying?
You see how you chase them down a rabbit hole then? So no, you don't like tax cuts. Right?
Yeah.
You chase them down that hole.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And I think Democrats mess that up all the time.
Hole go.
Listen, they got this thing going on now where they're trying to make an issue of white people being discriminated against in colleges. Right? So we should welcome an investigation into discrimination.
Yeah, come on,
welcome it.
Bring it on. Open up all the files.
Let's see it all.
Let's see
don't fight that.
And let's not do percentages. Let's do raw cases, not
And
percentages.
yeah,
Don't
because
fight.
most of them believe that there's no need for
affirmative action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's argue it in court.
So let's, if we're gonna do that, let's bring real cases, and based on the numbers,
You
not
can't argue the
percentage.
numbers.
You cannot.
Any
yeah,
judge
you
worth
don't
his
get
or her
that, yeah,
salt
yeah.
will be able to see that. I hope it makes it to the Supreme Court. Let's argue that for days.
And I'm here talking about the Supreme Court.
I want to bring that suit.
That's an institution. I'm right there with you. That's an institution that we talk about when we talk about
But how
term
will
limits.
that change people's mindsets? Because we see now, even today, when people are faced with actual factual data, they don't even believe that.
But you don't want to chase their mindset. You want to chase their inherent tribalism.
Yeah. And there's got to be an economic piece to that too.
So their tribe stands to benefit if we present the business case for doing some of these things.
So it's a blatant aspect
So
of the question.
so can they share in that benefit?
We're gonna tell you, listen.
Can they be okay with
Well,
us getting some benefit
but
too,
see, here's
and they getting some benefit too?
there has to
Who's
be-
always going to be up?
As long as
See,
they get more of the resources.
Oh, see that, but why do they have to get more of the resources?
They get more resources.
More, not more of,
So,
but more
resources.
So how? Why do they have to have more?
No, more than they are.
More than they
are
have
than they're
now.
getting now. Not more than we are getting.
Right. So they have more now. So catching up is a different discussion, but everybody comes up.
Right. They don't
That's where we want to go.
They're not.
And so they'll never lose.
Where they are.
Okay, because that's important.
Because ultimately, that's
their thinking.
That's the main reason
Exactly.
why they are
Exactly.
not about
Exactly.
sharing.
Exactly.
Because they are worried that it starts with
that
white
the tables
men.
are going to
that
turn.
the tables are going to turn.
If the tables turn, they're
worried.
concerned.
No. See, I don't think that they're concerned
Yes,
about
they-
them turning. I think they're concerned about just losing.
Same thing.
Same
No,
thing.
but I don't.
I agree.
I
Same
don't.
thing.
Same
Same thing.
Their loss,
if they
no. Their
lose,
loss is different than
then
our
tables
loss.
are turned.
But you're saying there's a limited amount of resources.
No,
Wait a minute, because that's where this whole
It doesn't have to do like
that's
this.
where this whole alt-right thing is coming from. They think that they're losing or they're
That
being
they have been
replaced
losing.
or they have been losing.
Because if we look at the raw numbers, we'll just talk about that's welfare.
Exactly.
That's
Not-
the resourced people among them, convincing them of that. Those aren't the people we're targeting.
No, I agree, but the facts are that white people in America, percentage and raw numbers, receive more welfare dollars than
Right.
people of color.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a pesky little fact. They're not going to deal with that. I get that.
But I'm saying,
Pesky.
but I'm
I love the way you put that, pesky.
But I think you marry that up with, you're not going to lose. You're going to continue to gain. We're going to gain too. So you're not going to lose your status.
Yeah, and that's tantamount. That's tantamount to the way they think.
But I think that
That's where the business case comes in.
Yeah.
When you make the business case,
you're not going to lose anything.
You ain't got to say nothing
you're gonna
about.
keep growing. And if your goal is to maintain a certain distance from us,
But that's not their goal, though. The goal is to keep their resources and to get more.
I agree with
It's not
that.
about keeping distance.
I think it is. I think it is.
I think it is too.
Well, if I think
Because
if
if
it
it
is,
weren't-
tribalism.
Because if it weren't, then the thought process that we see today wouldn't even exist.
part of their need, part of their,
Not the thought process, though.
There's always they always have to feel as though they're better than us. Always. That's gonna be it. Always. And so no matter what,
I do too, though.
You have a need to feel that you're better than someone else.
The
Why?
white people, yeah.
Why?
Because I'm in the black tribe.
See, I don't.
See, I'm okay with somebody else having more than me. I don't care what color they are.
I don't think I'm better than any person because of the color of their skin. I do think I'm better than people based on how they act within that costume. Absolutely. I can.
Oh, that's some bullshit. You ain't. No, you don't mean that.
What do you mean?
You know you better than some people.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
And it's because of the color of your skin.
Correct. But there are people, but I don't look at people, the whole category, and say I'm better than, because then we get into shades
Yeah,
of.
you don't judge as a whole.
Yeah.
You
To
can't
say
keep going out of macro, micro. I get that. You can't go back and forth though.
Well, you have to look at both.
I get you. What you just said was micro.
Yes. You're saying on a macro level that
the tribe always thinks they're better than the other tribe. That's how
without a
wars
doubt,
are created.
I think that that's true. I think that a tribe will think it's. That's why tribes
But
fight for
aren't we
power.
all part of one tribe?
No. No,
I think we.
That's why we like different.
Well, even if we go, even if we go within,
Aren't we all part of the human tribe?
even but one of the greatest places to study that is the continent of Africa, which is very tribal.
Listen, we ain't even gonna get into the talk about that because I can point out at least 4 or 5 different times that concessions were made simply so white people can have the one up on us.
Oh, sure.
You know, they stole. They when they.
Oh no! Wait. Here's the number one in my mind. The number one concession that white people have been able to enjoy in America that doesn't get talked about enough is education.
Education.
So number one.
What about when all of the Native Americans were moved off of millions and millions of acres so settlers can come and settle on land that they, they just drew a lottery and say you get this and you get that.
Look, Native Americans when they were put on reservations were allowed to be educated on their reservations. We weren't, as part of the greater United States of America, the growing, migrating part of the United States of America. So that's the number one resource that tribalism.
I don't know. They would argue that they did try to incorporate us into society. Hey, we brought you over from Africa, didn't we? We put you on our land. You worked, we
were great tribes in Africa.
Yeah, we were.
We were great tribes in Africa. Yeah. So to Eric's
point, beat it out of us,
right? So that's to the point of
to be subservient and to be that hierarchy, right?
Mm-hmm. But we still migrated towards tribalism.
Okay, so how? So I still go back to my initial point. We will never be able to overcome that thought process, so we can come together. We'll never.
We'll always be tribes.
Okay.
Because they ultimately
human nature
that they are superior.
No, it's not just them, though. It's us. We think we're superior too.
No, I know, but we're the only, let's say in North America, we're the only tribe that has had that consciously, systematically beaten out of us.
Better than someone else.
We're
not the only one.
Yes, we are. It wasn't beaten out of the Mexicans. It wasn't beaten out of Native Americans. No,
it was beaten out of Native Americans.
No, they moved them.
Yeah, they just moved them.
They just moved them.
Yeah, but they took a lot of the tribal stuff apart.
This is where I'm gonna challenge you, Eric. This is where my, you always tease me about my love for the Southwest and New Mexico. Go to New Mexico, and then you'll come back and go, yeah, Chu was right on that one.
About what?
They didn't beat it out of Native Americans.
Well, they didn't beat it out of us either, though.
No. They systematically beat it out of us.
No. They disconnected us from our original tribes.
Right, but then here, the goal was to force us to assimilate by taking away from
exactly,
and we migrated back to tribes.
Exactly.
True. Well, okay, so I'll say the attempt initially was to do that.
Right.
Native Americans, they didn't attempt to do that.
Well, sure they did. They attempted to. They didn't succeed, but they attempted to.
Well, okay.
Look at the Trail of Tears.
Okay, fair enough.
Can he hear us?
Yeah, they're commenting.
I don't see any comments.
Well, it says someone made a comment, said, "Don't forget you were well fed." Also, according to Bill O'Reilly, so they're hearing us. Yeah,
well fed, fat ass slave.
Because when we were talking about, that's I still say that in my mind, and I've been accused of living in my own world and my own bubble because, and I'm just going to be honest with you.
When you smoking weed?
Well, no, because I was raised in an environment that did not, or I'm gonna say did not. We were taught that people are people, and you treat people as you want to be treated. You didn't say that I'm gonna treat black people a certain kind of way because I want black people to treat me a certain kind of way. You were taught that you treat people the way you wanted to be treated. So therefore, me growing up, I didn't experience certain situations that maybe other people did experience. So racism to me, I didn't know I was black until I was probably 30. Well, in the traditional sense of racism and being black.
That's an attempt to avert war.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying there are people who who grew up that way that think that.
Here's what's
they were attempting to avert war. I get you.
Here's what's interesting about that. I've oftentimes have been, when I tell people where I grew up and where I went to college, graduate schools, but certainly where I grew up, my, kindergarten to high school formative years, I've had a number of people, black and white, say, well, wow, you grew up in a pretty,
Yeah.
And then I laugh and I go, that just goes to show how the narrow-minded thinking of people. I experienced so much more racism than people can imagine because there were 12 black kids in my entire school. So every place I went in Southwestern Michigan, there was an element of racism and bias.
But you were aware of it
every day.
See, that's different that's different from a black man's standpoint than it is from a black woman's standpoint, because I wasn't aware of the racism. I'm just being honest with you.
No, I get that, but I get that, and my point is, I am often accused or viewed as not understanding because of where I grew up geographically. But in fact, so you and I are in a similar boat.
Yeah.
I was aware of it. You're saying that you weren't to some extent.
Yeah, because I just thought that I deserved to get where I was getting.
Right.
Because, come on now, back in 84 at Georgia Tech, you could count the number of spots on one hand too.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
And for me to be able to excel in the way that I did, I'm sure there were those that, were secretly, but I just had the mindset that no matter what, you couldn't stop me.
And that is going back to something Eric said, I think.
So is that tribalism, Eric?
Yeah, without a doubt, because that's.
Or was that self-preservation?
Which is part of tribalism, because within a tribe, you were taught, I believe,
to take care of yourself.
To persevere, right?
To persevere,
Self-preservation,
Well, you take care of the tribe first, and then secondarily take care of yourself.
But if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of the tribe.
See, and now that's what I was going to say. We were taught to take care of ourselves, and then you go back and take care of the tribe.
Oh, I was always of the belief that you did them simultaneously, that you take care of yourself for the greater good.
For the greater good, and see, because this whole tribalism, and I'm glad we're talking about that, because it wasn't called tribalism back then. It was called something else. But to put it in the context now as tribalism, it gives you a whole nother understanding of what it is you are actually doing, and even way back then.
And what you're fighting for, because that's what this whole nationalistic America is about. It's preserving the white American tribe. It's not preserving America as a whole. What's the word? I'm almost said.
So they see themselves as losing their superiority. Oh yes, they do.
No,
because
I think the people you see on TV maybe, but the tribe is not. The tribe doesn't feel that way. The tribe is just trying to hold on to its resources. It's not about what we don't have. It's about what they keep.
It's not about what they don't have. It's about what they keep.
It's not about what we don't.
What we don't have.
It's not a zero-sum thing. It's not I lose if you get. It's I keep. That's all it's about. I want to keep my resources.
I agree with that.
If you present the business case where you can keep your resources and we can get more resources, then they back off of the warring.
Only to the point where once we acquire those resources based on the business case, that we then are at a position
to be their equals.
To be their equals, which they don't philosophically believe.
Yeah, never.
They believe
they got nothing to do with being equal.
No, Eric, but they believe they're
talking about the simple ass Klansman. That's different.
But Eric, that's what got the idiot elected, is they believe.
They've been convinced.
But it doesn't matter.
They're convinced that resources will shift.
Right.
But you're talking about the Klansman.
No. Let me finish my thought. I believe that the reason that they don't want to see our resources come up without a loss or depletion of theirs,
because they don't understand the business aspect of it,
and because their justification is that their tribe is superior.
Period.
But you're talking about the tribe. I'm talking about you. But you mean to talk about segments of the tribe who've been convinced that if we have resources, they lose resources.
Because their tribe, or those segments of their resources, are what's driving the message.
Okay, Paul Ward wants to know, are they simply satisfied with keeping their resources, or do they always want more resources on top of what they already have?
Every tribe wants more resources.
At what expense?
Yes, because somebody ain't.
That's the business case. You make the case that there is no expense.
But don't you see that from a self-preservation standpoint, that if another entity has equal resources, then you don't have dominion over them, and that's part of human nature. It just is. No, it is, Eric.
No, because none of the tribes want to have wars, and this is a form of a war.
Okay. I mean,
I can't agree with that.
I'm not
because
letting go.
An example of that for me would be.
Well, let me ask you this: as a part of your tribe, do you want dominion over them?
Do I care if I have dominion over them?
No.
No, I don't.
Right.
But
So the good majority of the people in that tribe feel the same way.
Okay.
You may have a segment of the tribe that's been convinced that they need to have dominion,
and they're driving the message. That's why I said
they're driving the message on the media, but the general population don't believe that.
Okay, let's say that they don't.
Well, if that were true, then we wouldn't have the idiot in the White House.
Except for the fact that it's not that they're doing something; they're just not doing something.
Okay.
Like my man in Sandwich today, he disagrees, but he doesn't do anything about it until we told him what to do.
Correct. The challenge that we have, certainly in this country, and I think to some extent, well, let's say in this country, is that we have a train that's been running a long time.
Thank you.
And that train has collected cars along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps moving. And as that train keeps moving and keeps collecting cars, the cars that they're collecting, that tribe has come to the conclusion that we can't disconnect some of our cars or not continue to add cars, because the minute that we do, the other tribe is going to collect cars as well.
But you're presenting a zero-sum argument that the simple-minded among that tribe believe.
I don't think that I think the people at the top of the heap economically are not
because they're the ones driving the message.
You mean to tell me?
No, I'm not talking about.
Hold on a second. You mean to tell me that the Koch brothers want you and I to have the same?
No.
You mean to tell me that
you're describing two different people? I'm saying the simple-minded, and you're saying the rich.
But the rich
can be simple-minded. So I'm just saying the simple-minded on either side of the economic spectrum.
Fair enough. I did draw the conclusion that the simple-minded are not wealthy.
Snaggletooth ass Kentucky.
Fair enough.
Right.
But they even think that they're better than us.
Correct. That's where I was trying to get to earlier.
The Snaggletooth.
Yeah.
That's
because they're simple-minded.
But that doesn't.
But the tribe doesn't believe that.
Yes, it does.
That is the tribe.
That flies in the face of tribal dynamics.
But that is the tribe.
The tribe wants.
That's not the tribe.
Who's the tribe then? Help me out, because I'm confused.
Okay, so to believe that that's what the tribe thinks would make you believe that the majority of white people are racist.
Fair statement. I don't believe that. I don't believe the majority of white people are racist.
That's the case, if the majority of white people are not racist, then that means that they don't care about what you're talking about, losing resources.
Going back to what's his name that called in. Right. They just don't know what to do, because they know, without even the business case, they know that it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you on that.
But are they going to go against the ones at the top?
Or the rest of it? Or the rest of the top?
Or the simple-minded?
Well, because they think that there's repercussions for going against the tribe, just like we were talking about. So that's
not the tribe, though.
But I know what you're saying. So in order for that overwhelming message to get out there with the majority of the tribe, they have to be able to say, I don't care.
They have to be willing to put something at risk.
Yeah, they have to be willing to risk something.
Plenty do.
But not enough. Because they're afraid of the repercussions.
No, because they don't know what to do.
That's part of it. But
that's a big part of it.
That's a big part of it.
Because a bunch of them are like-minded and live in places where they may not even encounter black people on a regular basis.
They don't know what to do, Eric, but they also are not willing to put at risk.
So it's kind of like it's not my problem, so I don't have to.
Which is where I draw the line and say they may not know what to do, but they also are not willing to find out.
Right.
And they're not willing to put at risk what the repercussions of the other parts of the tribe will do to them.
Not my problem.
And I'm going to call it out as the Democrats in America that will only go to a certain point. Water's edge.
Well, you make my point then, because we got to make the business case. We have to empower those who are terrorized by the simple-minded among the tribe.
Within their own tribe.
Right.
Yeah. So we can call out some current names. Right. The people that we'll call
But within that tribe, you're going to have the one thinking, and then we have the others that think one way, and then we got the people in the middle who are trying to bring those outsides into the middle, right?
Well, let's take a vote. Let's take voting in America as this most recent election as a tool to draw down.
Be careful with the micro and macro.
No. This is a macro situation, because to your point about the segments within the tribe, if we look at the fact that idiot got elected based on the Electoral College, 66 3.5 million more people in America did not vote for the idiot in the White House.
Yeah, but that happened because of the way the laws are set.
No.
Right
I know, but I'm saying to Eric's point about the tribe. The tribe didn't
want it.
Didn't want it.
What tribe?
The other 3.5 million people.
Yeah, but you got all kinds of people mixed in.
That's my
different tribes.
But that's my point to what you said about why.
But if he's talking about, if you look at America's population as a whole,
and
in the voting block,
as a tribe,
so as a tribe,
it's not a tribe.
Yes, it has to be.
No.
So when do we be a tribe and when do we not be a tribe? I'm
So
confused.
there's two opposing sides.
Living on the same continent doesn't make you part of the same tribe.
No, based on action, belief system, which we said earlier.
That's not a tribe.
So you're labeling tribe as color, ethnicity.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the only
species
tribe?
almost.
That's the only tribe.
That's how tribes operate.
Because see, I was under.
You don't have monkeys and elephants in the same tribe.
But that takes away. I agree with you to the point.
If you're gonna be technical about
because
it,
then you take away the element of procreation, and procreation's got to be part of the tribe development. Yes, it does. So that's why.
Yeah, but monkeys and sheep don't fuck.
We know that. They might try, but because they're part of a tribe. But humans
are a tribe, right? So then we got different parts within.
Well, then that's
the
why
humans.
humans. No, we are, Eric.
Because monkeys are monkeys, elephants are elephants, humans are humans.
So humans and monkeys.
No, you're talking about species. You're not talking about tribes. I get you.
Okay, species.
Okay, so then let's go back to the humans.
So you don't think that America as voting blocks?
Humans are a type of mammal.
All right. My point. Look, my point simply was that and I started it off by saying, from a voting conversation, 3.5 million more people voted for Hillary Clinton.
But yet the idiot is still in the White House. So the tribe spoke.
Because the tribe.
No, it's not a tribe though. It's like-minded people in different tribes.
Okay, what's the point?
It doesn't make it a tribe then. It makes like-minded people in different tribes. So you're saying a tribe. You can have people from different tribes all like apple pie.
Okay, but that doesn't mean the apple pie is good for them.
It doesn't make them all a tribe.
I know that, but I'm saying that
you're making dietary commentaries. What do you?
Well, you brought up apple pie. I didn't bring up apple pie. You did. I could have said carrot cake. But that being said,
but they're like-minded though.
They're like-minded.
They voted for the same dessert.
How did they get like-minded? This is the point I'm trying to circle back.
Because apple pie is good.
Okay, so in this case, they voted for something that was an interest of theirs.
Right, but you can't make a tribe a monolith.
But based on some common beliefs of these disparate tribes. Because are you trying to tell me that every white person in America is of the same tribe?
Yes.
Okay, so then how come every white American did not vote for Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, as it were, in this last election?
For the same reason I talked about it earlier. In the room where you made the presentation, the whole tribe in that room didn't agree.
Okay.
But they were still part of the same tribe.
Right, so they're part of the same tribe. So you can have like-minded people in several tribes.
Okay.
So how do you get the tribe to progress if you
outside of their narrow
belief
system? Good question. So you empower the people in the various tribes who have like-mindedness.
That was the question I asked a minute ago. And I said you get the people on the extreme outside and on the other side, and you get people in the middle. How do you bring them into the middle?
Fuck the people on the outside, get the people in the middle.
That's where the power always is, in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's one of the criticisms that I have right now.
But then
where-
aren't we making the same judgment that we don't need somebody? Or this is the weak
No,
part of the
see,
tribe,
that's
and
the
so
beautiful
let's
part about-
excommunicate
That's
them.
the beautiful part about it. The
Create a new
tribe
tribe.
and the part of the tribe,
tribe.
the part of the tribes in the middle have a mindset, a oneness that benefits everybody. So you can exclude them and still benefit them.
That comes back to this latest survey about 45% of Americans want to call themselves independent when it comes to voting. And
Those are the people in the middle.
And those are the people in the middle.
There's a comment online that says, while you guys are talking about tribes, the 45th resident and his neo-Nazi cabinet are masterminding the next 9/11 false flag attack that will cause our economy to collapse and start a civil war. My hope is that doesn't happen. But
you can't have no civil war anymore, man. Stop that. You can't start no civil war. There's no way you could do that. Back then, you could arm people with muskets on both sides.
Listen.
And they were equally armed.
Civil war in the traditional sense of what we think a civil war is, you're right.
It might be a social media war.
Yeah, it still could be a war nonetheless.
There's going to be these flares. No, we just had this. We had a small.
We just had a bloodshed.
We had a
war,
small.
to be
No,
honest.
you talking about an incident. There ain't gonna be no war where you got strategy in general.
Oh, well, no, I got
right,
you.
but
You're
we're gonna
right,
have
you're
these.
right.
We're gonna continue to have these flare-ups. My concern when it comes to this, as I said earlier on the air, is while we are having these flare-ups, that we become vulnerable. I mean, it's classic military strategy. We get flanked, not by within the country.
And the flanking is happening and has already happened. We just aren't
We're-
aware because we're so distracted by other things.
Exactly.
Because while we but that's been going on for years.
What the
I
guy
mean,
said, I forgot his
We
name. I
can
think it was
trick
Kirk.
them though.
I
We
think-
can trick them.
trick them.
I think what Kirk,
With the tribalism, we can trick them. There's a greater good to be had.
you know,
We have to empower the people who are right-minded.
what Kirk said earlier when he called in about the guns and why on the weekends, there's a lot of credence to that thinking. And I know that we didn't touch on it too deep, but there's a lot of credence to that because
I don't think violence takes place anymore on the weekend in Chicago than it takes place on the weekend in any other city.
no, I agree with that, but
There's just more.
I'm talking
media.
about it from the standpoint of geographics. We know that it's documented. It's not hyperbole or someone's thought that the guns are coming from a certain area.
Indiana.
From Indiana. But I also think that there is some resonance to people maybe starting stuff out from outside of our area. And here's the reason I believe that. Because it's an old play that's being rerun all over again because of the numbers of people that do come in across the state line. And not just bringing in drugs, they're bringing in the drama. I think that there's some need to investigate that. And I think that right now, on a national level, that is going to be one of those tipping points when it comes to these flare-ups. Like
Yeah, but say that's true. Say that is exactly true. What does that say about the individual and the mentality of that individual that's fallen for that?
Without a doubt. I don't know what it says. And I don't know if I can answer that. But what I do, I stay aware of is these flare-ups, how they're really starting. Okay? How they're really starting. What's really the impetus behind it? Because the more, the again, it's another distraction.
I mean, we can
It's a
talk about
distraction.
that with the shootings that happens on the highway. You know, like we were talking about gang members ain't looking to shoot nobody driving down the Eisenhower or driving down the Dan Ryan. We
might be.
Well,
but why? What would the point be? Because all you're doing is
You're
bringing it.
not trying to apply logic, are you?
I'm not trying to apply logic, but if what we're talking about within the city of Chicago is gangs, territory, resources, right? What good or what would it benefit them to bring attention to what they're doing by doing that, shooting at cars on the Dan Ryan or on the Eisenhower? What good?
But they're not just randomly shooting at cars.
I mean, because as far as I know, because there was no logic behind who was getting shot.
Logic. Use the magic word again. It's not logic behind this stuff.
So what was the benefit and what was the point then?
So some of it's a gang initiation stuff.
Just some shit they doing.
Yeah.
Well, law enforcement also wants to contain it. So
then let's talk about the people running the gangs then that would send somebody out there to initiate them that way when they know that's going to bring attention
You know
to
they
them.
put most of the gang leaders in jail.
Yeah, well, we know that's why we have the chaos here in Chicago now, because they got all the gang leaders
Because they had out
locked
the
up.
snake, and so they got these disparate gangs that are fighting each other.
It's the Saddam Hussein theory. They not going in and invading as the government did. Look what happened.
So that's so we could essentially say that was by design. Because
yeah,
they
it was.
want to keep this
No,
going.
I think that they thought that if they got rid of the leaders, they would disband the gangs. That's what I think they thought.
I don't
kind of like what Bush thought if he got rid of Saddam Hussein, that people would rise up and take control of the country and it'd be a democratic country.
Yeah, but
I think it's something a little bit more sinister than that.
I'm always on the sinister tip.
I'm on the sinister tip with that one.
Yeah, I don't think that the local law enforcement or regional.
I don't think they're that damn smart.
I don't think they're that smart. I think that they just. I think that they are calculating enough to say, if we get rid.
Say goodbye.
Look.
Say goodbye, y'all. Bye. We
Bye.
gotta go.
It's the same theory behind why they took